Virginia won the coin toss and deferred. So you're looking from behind where Miami will receive the ball and go on offense. Now, I mentioned the fact they had an outside chance. First of all, the Canes must take care of business, but then they have to hope for the upset up in Blacksburg, that the Tar Heels of North Carolina can go in and somehow upset Virginia Tech. Easier said than done. That is a big, big long shot. Here, however, Miami a 3-touchdown favorite, and they're up against Smith, who's just an outstanding kickoff man. He has been wailing it into the end zone. He has the wind at his back. He would love to put Miami with a first down on the 20-yard line. He did just that. What a strong leg. What a weapon that is for field position. It'll come out. And so Gary, number 3, Kyle Wright threw that costly interception. What's the game plan for the Canes here? Well, when you give up 7 sacks in a football game and run for 30 yards, that Miami offensive line must finish their blocks. They got whipped one-on-one, and if Miami's going to get some big plays, they usually do it with short throws and those great skilled receivers with those yards after catch. Catch it and take it to the house. That's what's missing from this Miami offense. Jones is the running back behind Wright. Number 34, their leading rusher, Tyrone Moss, injured a short time ago. Not able to play for the rest of the season, and Jones battles for about 3 yards. The BASF lineups today, and the Canes, you saw their ball carrier. He hopes to carry the load. The coaches felt that maybe they gave up on the run a little bit too early. So there you see number 34, Charlie Jones. He's the starting tailback. Senior Quad Hill is the fullback for him. And on second down, right off a play action, throws in underneath and uses the fullback to the 30-yard line. That's Quad Hill. And Tony Franklin makes the tackle. So we can see Moore and Hill, Olson, and Charlie Jones from right down the road in Homestead, Florida. Behind this offensive line, Rashad Butler doesn't get a lot of pub. Out of Dwyer High School, Palm Beach Gardens, been a consistent performer in that offensive line. And with that run, that pass then to Hill, it is third down and about a yard for the Canes. Power I. They'll try Jones, hit in the backfield. Keeps battling forward, and they're going to spot it back at the 26. And that was Tony Franklin coming up. Gary, it was one blitz after another from Georgia Tech last week. Charlie Jones did not know the play. He's just out of the picture here. Watch, you'll see the fullback go, and Kyle Wright goes to hand off, and just now Jones is coming, blitz from the corner, gets it, but I think Charlie Jones didn't really get it, and really the whistle blew because his helmet came off. That's a safety procedure. Watch 34 delay here. I don't know if he got the call or didn't hear the snap count. He delayed, and then there's the safety. Now, once the helmet goes off, the whistle blew for the safety of the ball carrier. Emmanuel Byers is back deep for Monroe's left-footed punt off the side of his foot, but it takes a Miami bounce. Crosses the 30-yard line, and the Cavaliers will have a 1st and 10 at the 28. So here comes Marcus Hagans. We've talked a lot about him. He can beat you with his feet and his arm when he's on, but he needs to be on. What's their game plan, Well, Gary? The game plan is the same that Georgia Tech did. Control the ball. Last week, Georgia Tech had the ball for 35 minutes against Miami. And then, of course, if you're going to beat Miami, Florida State and Georgia Tech, 9 sacks and 7 sacks. That is the formula. Jason Snelling is the fullback, and he is lined up right in front of Wally Lundy, the senior. On a play fake, Hagans from the pocket throws far sideline, incomplete, and Fontel Mines was the receiver. Here is our BASF Virginia Cavalier lineup, and you will see Wally Lundy. He started to come on, recovering from an injury, getting stronger and stronger. The big timer is DeBrickashaw Ferguson out of Freeport, New York, left tackle. Protects the blind side. He's going to make a lot of money when he goes to playing football on Sundays. He is someone that the scouts really envision as a top drawer, 1st-round draft choice. Stupar goes to the other side of the line for the strong side of the formation. A lot of shifting with the Cavaliers. And Lundy pounds ahead to the 35-yard line, and they'll need about 3 yards against this defense on third down. Orion Harris, the most consistent, the senior from Delaware. The linebackers, and Leon Williams out of Brooklyn steps into the starting lineup today, so he draws a start. And in the secondary, Marcus Maxey, a senior, his last game, underrated and the fastest of the Canes. So here's your third down play now coming up for the Cavaliers. 4 down linemen. Lundy to run for it. So on that little bit of a cutback, looks like they're going to give it to him on the spot. They're going to call timeout, though, and have a measurement here.
Lundy's greatest asset for this football game, he's healthy. Got injured in the opener, has been struggling. This is the most healthy he's been all season, and you can see it with that run right there. What he does so well is run with patience, and he's a big guy, Brant. We're down on the field. He's a big-looking tailback, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Lundy on that cutback picks it up, and a 1st and 10.
And that's so important against this Miami defense, those first downs on third down conversions. Miami tops in the country 26% of the time. The opponents are making it on third down, and that was a big pickup by this Virginia team, controlling the clock.
Higgins taking his time. Now they break the huddle. The fullback Snelling right straight ahead on the belly series out to the 44, and so Virginia wants to come in here and play a little power football, Gary.
And that's I think that's the formula you look at. You look at the games that Miami has struggled. They kind of get a little frustrated as a football team. If you can take this game into the second half, they're used, even though we talked about it, it's not the same as it used to be. They're used to blowing teams out. You want to play this game low and slow and run the ball and move the chains.
So far, Higgins and Virginia taking their time. Lundy cutting back again and well short of the first down. The other thing they have to be concerned about, Gary, is the speed of Miami's defense, and we asked Marcus Higgins about it.
When you play a defense that's as fast as they are, you know, teams like Virginia Tech and Florida State, you just can't run all around and, you know, try to make everybody miss. You got to be disciplined in your drops, get back, get your reads, and get the ball out on time.
They can run even in that front. Always had that down here in South Florida. Speed on the Cane defense. Now it's third down. Not an easy team to convert third downs against, but the linebackers were somewhat confused by the formation. Now they get straight. Higgins shotguns in trouble. Got a dance to the right. Gets away from Williams. Stays on his feet. It's incomplete. And the Cavaliers are forced to punt. And Higgins did avoid a loss.
Sure did. And that's what I think why Miami is so good on third down. They just come. Everybody's moving up front. A little bit of motion. That's what you do with motion. You try to get those linebackers to second guess their assignments. You could see the blitz came. But the Miami defense on third down clamps down. They don't play zone. They clamp down on receivers and force tough throws. Ask Marcus Vick, Virginia Tech.
Chris Gold is back to punt. And Devin Hester, who has returned from an assortment of injuries to be the top return man today for the Canes, fields this one on the 11. The seam closed quickly, just short of the 25-yard line, and that's where Kyle Wright will have it for Miami. When we come back, it'll be 1st and 10, no score here in the Orange Bowl. We are back in the Orange Bowl, scoreless. The Cavalier defense facing Kyle Wright, and the offense. Ortega is flexed as the H-back, comes in motion, doubles back. Jones to Daylight, getting the corner, and pushed out of bounds by this Virginia defense, which is missing a big man here today. There's the front, Brennan Schmidt, his 50th consecutive start. That's a record out of McLean, Virginia. And there you see Antonio Appleby has replaced Ahmad Brooks, battling injuries, not even here today. Hamilton, Glaspie, Franklin, and Gorham. An 11-yard gain, and they got the corner with the run that time by Jones. Showing the 3-4 look. Running the toss play with Hester, who's checked into the backfield. And Hester run out of bounds, picked up about 3 or 4. And Jack, when you're down on the field, we were talking to the coaches, what did they say about Brooks and leaving him back home today?
Well, you got to remember, actually, he has made the trip. Randy came out just moments ago, and you got to remember that he missed all of the off-season conditioning due to knee surgery. Then he missed all of the spring practice, all of the fall practice. When I talked to Al Groh, he said he's just been so far behind the 8 ball. He's 25 pounds overweight. They just felt like he developed a back problem, and they said they were just going to leave him on the side, but he's coaching up his replacement right now.
Oh, so he's not in uniform, right, Jack? He's not going to play. Okay, second down now, and Wright dropped at the 35-yard line. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Screen pass, obvious on the play, and you see it. Personal foul to the quarterback. Jones was blocking the safety on the play coming in. The safety gets by him, says, oh, I got a chance, and he goes and hits him in the head.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 23 on the defense.
That's Tony Franklin.
Yeah, it didn't look like much when you saw it live. Let's take another look at it right here. You see Jones hits him. Now he's free. Pass goes by. You see him right arm, right to the helmet. They're going to call that.
Absolutely. Contact with the helmet.
Yep.
Now you'll get a good view of this when he
Watch
comes
this.
in.
Right hand to the helmet. You see him bend his head over
that's
right there.
Unfortunate.
That's what you can't give Miami, extra downs. They're going to make plays, but those extra downs when you're trying to keep a close ball game is very difficult.
Olson's the tight end on the left side of the formation. His brother, the backup quarterback at Virginia. So the Olsons on the field together today. Jones right straight ahead, and he almost broke it. Parham making a saving tackle. And John, Kansas, Iowa State, big for Iowa State. Win sends them to the Big 12 championship. What's going on?
Well, Vern, here in the Taco Bell update, same situation for Iowa State a year ago against Missouri, and they lost the game in overtime. In danger of doing that again. Dexton Fields with that touchdown reception, and is tied at 21 with 21 seconds left. Iowa State needs that win to face Texas.
John, don't take a coffee break. Stay right there. We want to know what happens in that game, okay? Come back with that update when it ends, my friend. All right. And this is a big day for a lot of teams. Penalty against the Canes being marched off. And tonight, the ACC now on ESPN at 7:45 Eastern. And then on ABC at 8 Eastern, Notre Dame, Stanford, Georgia, Georgia Tech. Notre Dame, big money on the line for them. A win, and they will, in all likelihood, go to a BCS Bowl, perhaps the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl down in Tempe. We'll see how that all unfolds. But the Irish must not be upset tonight on the West Coast. In underneath to the 40-yard line, Quad Hill, the fullback, and there's a penalty flag. Came late into the play. Another personal foul. This is a face mask. Boy, this is two big personal fouls against the Cavaliers.
15. You know, Kyle Wright, you can see that he went over his game from last week. He is throwing with rhythm. He's getting back there, letting that ball go. He's trying to give confidence to that offensive line. Plays are going. Now you watch it. End of the play right here. Hit, and it tugged down at the end of it that time by Diaz. Tugs him down and pulls it up. They're going to call that. It's not incidental when you tug them down. 30 yards and penalties on this drive.
Ball just across the 25-yard line. Moss, the slot receiver, on the left. Jenkins is outside him. Hester now is one of the wideouts on the right. They're going to go 4 wide against the Cavaliers. This time behind the inside man as Jenkins was working the shallow route. Something that probably the Canes wish they had called against Georgia Tech instead of going downfield to the tight end Greg Olson. And that pass was intercepted, of course. So it was a critical mistake. They had moved about 60 yards, and then Kyle just didn't read the corner properly. Double team on the tight end, and it was intercepted. But the pattern could have been underneath on that play, and a lot of critics, of course, have talked about that all week down here in South Florida. 2nd down and 10. Right with that inside shuffle pass, and the fullback Hill is being used, and he comes across the 20. So now we asked Kyle Wright, is the wind out of the Miami sails after that loss?
If you ask the players, I don't think the wind is out of anybody's sails, but I guess I mean, I can feel it from people around the city, but we can't. They're not going to be out there playing with us. We can't worry about them.
Gary, you were with the young man.
Yeah.
How'd you read his body language?
Real focused and real determined to take that last play and learn from it. I think that's the way I'd sum it up. He just wants to continue to grow.
Power I formation. And they will run Moss out of it for the 1st down. And Moss is out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. So in his last game here in the Orange Bowl, Cineris Moss, younger brother of Santana of the Washington Redskins, sprints for a 1st down. How about this play, Gary?
Yeah, how about it? Got the receiver back there. Quad Hill is the fullback right up top. He fits in really nicely, but you got your speed, and that's the one thing that Miami, you see the fit by the fullback right there. Number 23 fits beautifully, and speed is what I notice a difference at tailback here for Miami. No home run threat from that tailback position.
Taking the H-back. Jones, the runner, straight ahead, bounces off one of his linemen. He's short of the 5-yard line.
If you're going to be an offensive coordinator in modern-day football, and you've got 25, 24 scholarships, you get a guy hurt like Tyrone Moss, you must use the talent on your team and find speed somewhere else. That time Dan Warner said, I'm going to take my fast receiver, sneak him in a tailback, quick snap it right away. There's Dan. He's been in for a tough week this week, too, with that last pass, but calls a nice one there.
Moore and Jenkins, the wideouts. Right, and threw it out of bounds. Moore was pretty well covered. As dropping back to help out was Jermaine Dias. And, you talked about Coach Warner, and on the hot seat here in South Florida, we jokingly said you don't want to listen to talk radio this week as the entire offensive coaching staff losses to Florida State. Of course, there was a bad handle on a snap, not a perfect snap on a field goal that might have tied that one. Georgia Tech, of course, they're coming down. They throw the pick. Not much margin for error in college football. And here in Miami, you are expected to win big games, especially in the Orange Bowl, where the one against Georgia Tech was lost. They're going to set the screen going in. Hill, the fullback, and not letting go, had a hand on the ankle, was Franklin, number 23.
And they're going to call Ryan Moore, I think. No, Akeem Jolly is at number 80, I believe, for a late hit on the play, too, to back him up. Now, you wonder if this is going to be a dead ball foul on the play.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 80 on the offense, 15 yards, 4th down.
Akeem Jolly, number 80, got a late hit, and it's after the play, so that's going to make this field goal a lot longer.
Petty trots on out to the field. Monroe is the holder. Ross Abrahamson, he's the snapper on this play.
And this is into the prevailing wind here, too.
Nothing, Miami. Al Grove, head coach of Virginia, his team has already qualified for a bowl, and of course they would move up in the ACC pecking order with a win here today against Miami, but they already have enough wins. Struggled a bit in conference play, and the big win was against Florida State.
You know, I talked to Al before the game, and you know what he said? He goes, Gary, I think for Virginia, you got to ride the waves a little bit. This is a kind of a down wave for us. We feel the next 3 years we're going to be positioned very nicely to come back. He loves his young players. He's playing 11 true freshmen in this game and throughout the year.
Yeah, we'll see how he solves the quarterback situation that he comes up with. In college football without a quality quarterback. Fielded by Pierman. Let me check that. That was Michael Johnson. Beason makes the stop. So tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, the Merrill Lynch Skins game. Fred Funk pocketed a little change with 6 skins. Tiger Woods, he badly needed that 75,000. And Fred and Annika looking to win that 700,000 tomorrow. So it's the Merrill Lynch Skins game. It's always fun to watch in the Thanksgiving weekend. That's a heck of a field they've got this year. I think I saw Funk wading into the water. I was getting ready to do some things, but it looked like he was rolling up the pants a little bit earlier this morning. Lundy is the tailback. Higgins is going to dash out, and there's a penalty flag. This one could be coming back because of holding, and I want to tell you, he just froze Rocky McIntosh. He just took the linebacker to school, but the penalty flag was thrown by the umpire. That cost him 32 yards. Top of the hour, a gorgeous day down here in South Florida, and so happy that the hurricane season has come to an end. They're still cleaning up some of the damage around the city and up in Broward and Palm Beach County. So the center, Barthelmess, is guilty of the holding. That's all part of the debris that has been cleaned up and
free
brought
mulch
to that
down.
holding site.
Free mulch down here if you want to come down here, right?
Absolutely. Take care of your gardens, folks. Drive on down from Jupiter.
Exactly.
Wherever, across from Naples, wherever you want to come from. 3-0 now. And Lundy can't get to the original line of scrimmage. And, Jack, the Virginia quarterback, you know, he's one of those rascals. He's entertaining. He can break your heart sometimes, but he's fun.
Yeah, and he's come from that Tidewater area where we've seen guys like Vic, like Allen Iverson. But in the offseason, Al Groh gave him a special tape. Groh put it in the VCR, and he showed him all the plays of Tom Brady. And Marcus said, I'm not like that. And he goes, no, but we want you to be more like that in terms of discipline. Still want you to make your living on your feet, but be able to make your reads with a certain amount of discipline.
I'd have been very tempted to show him Michael Vick. End around pass. Byers is going to throw out of it. He's got Williams wide open. Foot race. Williams will score. The end around pass by Emmanuel Byers, hitting Dayon Williams. There's a celebration. A 90-yard touchdown. What a big moment that is for the Cavaliers.
Well, and long yardage, you know, on a reverse like that, Miami sold out. It was long yardage for a first down, and boy, did the receiver Byers ever sell that. I thought for sure it was a reverse all the way till I glanced downfield and saw the one receiver.
I believe they're asking Coker if he wants the penalty on the kickoff.
And he did.
That's
he texted
what
on the
took.
kickoff. Yep. Man.
Groh is going to be livid about this. I don't happen to like the rule, so I won't get involved in it.
15-yard penalty would be administered on the kickoff.
See if you take out Dayon Williams. He's their best receiver. But that was you talk about a perfectly executed play. Not only was the pass perfect, it was sold on the line of scrimmage, and the timing was impeccable.
Excellent kicker here, Connor Hughes. Now, this is not the fellow who kicks off. High snap, put down, and it's beautiful. John Phillips, a sophomore quarterback, did a superb job. Now, let us watch this. And the Canes are unable to track Williams down from behind. He's a big-time wideout. Now let's stick with it and see what the celebration penalty is for.
France is in. I don't know. Watch the receivers. Maxey bumps in to Merriweather. Watch this. Merriweather knocks Maxey off on the play, and that's really what opened it up. Man-to-man coverage, but when your own safety blocks the corner, you've got a chance for a big play. It was like a pick play when you didn't design one. Looking at the stands, is that taunting is what he called on the play.
After those fans taunted them when they came on the field. Oh, well. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Timeout. Every pro scout here and every pro scout at home is watching Curt Smith right now. The ball has been moved back to the 20-yard line. He has been a powerful field position force for the Cavaliers on a gorgeous day for football. And he still drives Devin Hester, and finally Hester hesitated and decided to come out. Bad judgment. Out of bounds on the 10. All right, John, tell me what happened with the Cyclones against Kansas, my friend.
Well, Brent, as you said, I didn't even take a coffee break. Pontiac Power Performance Play of the Day. That's Scott Webb from 34 yards out. Kansas wins. So for the second consecutive year, Iowa State loses a game in overtime that would have sent them to the Big 12 championship game. As a result, Colorado, despite that terrible performance against Nebraska yesterday, will face Texas as part of championship Saturday. Brent.
John, I didn't know there was a reverse on a Buffalo. You talk about backing into a championship game, and there was a jump of the defensive line down there for the Cavaliers.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 64 on the offense. Half a distance to the goal, still first down.
Trailing 7-3, Rashad Butler.
First down at 15 from the 5.
So Butler incurs the penalty in the offensive line. Ortega, the H-back. Conservative play call. Jones is out to the 10-yard line. And college football on ABC is brought to you by Hummer. Check out the new H3 Hummer like nothing else. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. And drive insurance from Progressive. Available only through an agent or broker. Relax, just drive. This is from my friend John up in New York. John, go ahead, take a quick break. Come back and then keep me informed with Gary and Jack. We want to know how the Noles are making out against the Gators. All right, my friend. Here it is, second down and long. Olsen couldn't quite reach out and bring that one in. Tried to one-hand it to the body and couldn't. And here comes your third down.
Pretty well thrown ball. And so far here in the first quarter, 4 minutes left. All 4 of the passes, and you said a conservative call on second down, on first down. It's been conservative all game, I think, for Kyle Wright in this offense. Quad Hill, the fullback, has all 4 of the receptions. Very, very conservative start for Miami.
Third down and 9, backed up and playing almost like not to lose instead of letting it fly here. Another blitz. Sort of Jenkins in underneath, short of the first down. They're going to be forced to punt. Gary, if ever a play turned around the early part of a game, it was that touchdown by Virginia. And then the kickoff, man, you cannot say enough about what Smith means to this team, despite the penalty.
He came into the game, Brent, 25 for 27 into the end zone. So that, let's see, Purdue math, 27 for 29. That's pretty darn good, isn't it?
It is. I'm looking over here at George Hill. Does he have the math right? Yeah, George says you're on the money. Pretty good. You can help him with stats. High snap again. Now here's Byers, who threw the pass. Gonna let this one bounce again, and it'll go out of bounds.
Smart play.
Crosses the 40-yard line. So Emmanuel Byers has thrown a touchdown pass. Doesn't risk a muff on that.
You know what I checked? I was checking with that number 19 whether Byers was a high school quarterback. So many of these guys are recruited as high school quarterbacks, come in and wide receivers, but no, he was a wide receiver in high school all 4 years. That was a beautiful
good thought
throw.
Because he did throw it beautifully. You know, I would have guessed the same thing.
Absolutely. Did he take his glove off? by the way. You know, we got to go back and look at that because I see he's wearing 2 gloves right now.
I'll bet that glove is
What do you
off.
think? You say Michael Jackson or not? 1 glove or 2 gloves?
We definitely.
Let's go take another look at that.
Good eye by Gary on that replay, let me tell you. Now they batter right ahead with the, they go to the big back, Jason Snelling.
That should have been one of our coming ups, you know, when we sell guys coming back. Let's see, there it is. Does he have gloves there? He's got them both on.
Wow.
He
doesn't tip it off.
See, I would have noticed that. I mean, I right away would have noticed that.
They sold that well, didn't they? You know, and you don't expect that play from backed up. You've been a little bit conservative.
Not.
You've been calling, you know, it was a terrific play call by the Virginia staff.
By all 11 players. The offensive line sold it tremendously, and then they got the pick to make it all work out.
Snelling again, and they have decided to pound right straight ahead against the defensive line of Miami's, and we asked Coach Shannon yesterday who had stood out.
Yeah, Ron Prince, offensive coordinator right there. You know what he has to do. He knows what he has to do. Tough to run east and west against Miami football teams. You remember a year ago, they had this game pretty close till Roscoe Parrish ran a punt return back. So he knows the formula of how to give Miami problems.
And, you know, Shannon hesitated, said it has not been a team with great stars on defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've done the job. It is hard to rush for 100 yards total against Miami. And the Cavaliers seem determined with the fullback picking up the 1st and 10 at midfield. And we check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, this is the first time in Al Groh's coaching history that he has ever had a lead at the Orange Bowl. Wait, let me check that. It's also the first time that Al Groh has ever been to the Orange Bowl. Hard to believe when you realize that he spent so many years on coaching staffs, but they were always on teams that did not play the Miami Dolphins. Talked to him before the game, and he walked around and he goes, so this is what it's all about, and then just smiled.
Yeah, and Jack, when he came down here in the NFL, of course, they were playing up the road in Broward County where the Dolphins play. On a play fake by Higgins, rolling hard to the right. That might be a penalty. No, it was just incidental tripping out there. They got tied up. Therian Davis got tied up. Marcus Maxey was the corner, and there the Virginia Cavaliers. Not a sunshine state for the Cavaliers.
No, and if you want to something even on top of that, every team, all 13 teams, have scored at least 31 points in those Virginia games. The least number of points given up by a Virginia defense, 31. Of course, these guys weren't in the game, so what difference does it make? Just fun for TV.
Absolutely. Just TV chit-chat.
Yes, right.
Lundy motions out as a wideout. And then they run Snelling out of it, and reading it was John Beeson, the linebacker. He cracked him.
That's what you're used to seeing from the Miami defense. Those linebackers that make up so much ground so quickly. See, those delayed draws like that, when those linebackers are just eyeing those backs because they play a lot of man coverage underneath, really, really tough to execute against a Miami defense.
When you look back at the Miami secondary, of course, Maxey and Jennings, the corners, both seniors, both on the field. The Cavaliers have gone after Maxey. Now they go to Jennings' side, and it's Williams again. And out of bounds across the 40-yard line. That is a first down. So Williams, who is a big, big receiver, and they're getting him on these smaller corners.
Miami blitz. Kenny Phillips, number 1, came on the safety blitz that time. A perfect throw by Higgins. We talked about it in the open. Higgins can use his feet to be effective and really change the game for big plays. But at those quarterback plays, those plays inside the pocket, he has to do to take advantage of those receivers.
And again, Higgins threw for 300 yards against the Seminoles. It's jammed. Lundy stayed on his feet and loses about a yard. So our aerial coverage, courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company and its fleet of airships, reminding you to travel with peace of mind on Goodyear's new Assurance tires. What a beautiful day that is to be soaring above Miami, the Orange Bowl, over at the beach.
We've done a few games here now in the Orange Bowl, and Brent, you did them when Miami was in that streak when they won 58 straight. Don't see that intimidation anymore, do you?
No,
people
you
walk in
don't.
here not intimidated by Miami at all.
Here's Lundy behind his lineman and doing a great job of pulling. Brandon Albert, the guard, led the way that time, and he was a bulldozer on the attack. One thing that impresses you, Gary, the size of Virginia's
tall
players.
guys. Watch this, Brent. He does a good job of sealing it and then goes down and gets another block. This is what you do. You take the first guy to make sure the play gets positive yards, punch them, and then continue to one block there, then continue to go down and bulldoze downfield. That's how you're taught. With your hands, make sure one guy goes and then keep and finish the play. He got a first down while he was blocking, and the ball carrier was truck and trailer right behind him.
Truck and trailer, that's good.
Yeah,
I like
truck
that.
and trailer. You stick with the big truck, the big
That's right. That's what
It's
he
like
did.
with the Musburger boys. The truck and trailer just goes.
I think they're going to bring the chain out here to spot it, Gary. I think he was just
short.
inches.
Yeah, he was.
Looks like just inches over there. It did look like they had it, and actually Virginia probably said, "We'll take this." You know, the Canes are still back on their heels. Crowd relatively quiet.
Air's out of the team.
Yeah.
I saw it when I came onto campus to do interviews. They just are still in that Georgia Tech loss. So much was there, and I think they're going to have to open it up. They've been very conservative on offense. Let Kyle Wright throw the ball downfield.
Here comes your third down. You would think, if nothing else, Barthelmess could lead Higgins, but instead they're going to power with Snelling, and why not? And the ball came loose. You can tell by the reaction. Ball came loose.
Well, Merriweather's sure that it's Miami's ball, but he doesn't get the first call.
And he's not the bottom of the pile
No.
either.
He was wrong.
Keep it. They keep it. Yeah, you can't take a player's first signal.
Exactly.
You know.
This is not, by the way, a huge – there's no Vince Woolfolk here on this defensive line. This is not a huge, massive defensive line for Miami. You can run right at these guys.
First quarter comes to an end, and a surprise, a 3-touchdown underdog. The Virginia Cavaliers come to the Orange Bowl, and with a little bit of trickery, they lead it 7-3.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Well, Virginia leading 7-3 as we start the second. And they've put 145 yards on the Canes already and held them to 63. Just 3 down linemen here on the first 10. Snelling running loose, powering his way just short of the 15. That's going to be, I believe, another first down. Gary, it is pretty stunning the way the Cavaliers here appear to be manhandling them so far.
Well, and that's really what I think that Miami has to really understand. It's not the scheme. It's not going for it for 4th and 1. Larry Coker said, I made a bad call. They're getting beat man on man, mano a mano. You know, and when you're in Miami and you turn on the film and say, you're getting blocked, son. They're catching passes against you. It doesn't have anything to do with our scheme or strategy.
Higgins spreads the field. And it is the big back. Now, what I want George Hill to check is how many teams have rushed total for 100 yards against Miami this year. I know that we did that opening game. The Noles couldn't do it. And they're using a big back Snelling. And he's just powering for Virginia here. He already has 30 yards himself here.
It can't be like they're only giving up 236 yards a game the whole season. They just, they had the one big long pass play. That's put points on the board, but more impressive to me is their ability to run the ball.
Only two backs have 100 yards on him this year. And Snelling well on his way. Okay, John, what's going on with the Gators and the Noles up Gainesville way, my friend?
Brent, this one's especially for you. We know you've been waiting on it. Chris Leak drops back the pass plenty of time, throws a strike to Chad Jackson as Florida's on the board first. leading Florida State, who is stumbling down the stretch, and they're already in the ACC championship game. 7-0 they trail.
Yeah, John, and, you know, they're really beat up. It's a tough game for Bobby Bowden because a more important game, in all honesty, is next Saturday night in Jacksonville for the ACC title. Snelling, and he's out of bounds at the 7-yard line because regardless what happens today, they win next week, the game we're going to up in Jacksonville.
You're selling that Florida State is not a big game? Is that what you're Is that a new TV show or something like that?
It's the first time it hasn't
ever. That has never
Snelling.
Been said in college football. Oh, boy, here we go. Snelling, who is really, really a versatile back, plays a lot of one back for them, catches the ball out of the backfield. You know an Al Groh offense is going to throw the ball to the fullback and keep those linebackers off balance. See him, he catches the ball, turns to the sideline, does not go out of bounds, tries to fight it, steps out right there, but you don't know it, and he gets sandwiched. Two guys kind of interlock him at the same time.
Romeo Davis was there with McIntosh, and he's still down, so we'll take a break. And when we left for commercial, you saw Snelling on his feet out of bounds. He came back, fell down, and he apparently is all right over the sideline. Now Connor Hughes, he's excellent. 18 of 21. This is a 24-yarder. This would put the Cavaliers up by a touchdown, and it does just that. So good kicking game. I think when you watch Virginia when they play well, their record surprises you, Gary, to tell you the truth.
Well, they look like they're a physical football team, and they're good on special teams, don't you think?
Yeah, very good. And, of course, Georgia Tech came in here and won. And here is Lundy against Tech. And this is a Virginia win. And Hagens hitting Williams in underneath, and it was a 10-point victory against Tech.
It's kind of been that way in the ACC Coastal this year, hasn't it been? I mean, everybody seems like one time you look at them and you go, oh, that's the team. And then all of a sudden, that's not the team. And I mean, it's been up and down in this ACC.
Yeah, one team beats one and then goes out and beats another one. I mean, you can't tell.
You know, the other thing I think, though, for Virginia, Brent, only 3 players. Oh, here we go. Look at
here
this.
It is.
Look at this staff.
Virginia Tech.
They look all this stuff up
Georgia
that fast.
Tech. Okay. Miami beats Virginia Tech.
Nobody thought that would happen.
No. And then Georgia Tech beats Miami.
Nobody thought that would happen.
All right. So Virginia beats Georgia Tech. And Virginia Tech beats Virginia. So you can't figure it.
And in the other half of the ACC, Florida State is the formula there is like Colorado. Let's back our way into the ACC championship. Maybe that's the key. You get a big lead early and you just kind of coast into it. Can he put it out against the wind here now?
Well, let's see. So this is Curt Smith. He's driven 2 with a little breeze at his back. One included a 15-yard penalty. And let's see what he does here.
That's out of here.
Boy, did he whack that ball. You talk about a long leg. That's into the wind, and he'll come out on the 20-yard line.
What's the minimum salary in the NFL? Because he's going to get it.
There's a penalty flag, too, on this play.
That down there, that's usually offsides. He's going to have to do it again.
Coaches dislike a penalty like this. Had nothing to do with the play.
Right.
Offsides on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
And how's the big fullback down below, Jack?
Well, Brent, you should expect him to come back. He had a little bit of a shoulder stinger. The athletic training staff for Virginia have worked him over and have cleared him to return to action. And that's important because Al Groh told me before the game, the key today for him is to establish a running game, as you guys have been talking about. And I quote, I want him to run with authority.
And Jenkins and Hester back deep.
It's not fair. Al Groh tells somebody different. Every time he talks to a guy, it's a different strategy. He's got like 9 different strategies. He's going to be right. That's how Brent calls games on the weekend.
So we'll see what the young man could do here, Gary. 5 yards further. Actually, he should be able to hit it the goal line.
I'm going to call this a run back. I think it's going to be in 2 yards deep and they run it back or right on the goal line.
All right, the prediction is 2 yards deep and
gotta get
which
a leeway.
One? Jenkins or Hester? Who's he going to give it to?
Hester.
Okay.
From the goal line to 2 yards deep.
Here we go.
Let's see how we go here.
It's returnable.
Oh, no.
Just the other guy, and it's from the 6. So it's Jenkins. left alley, and that's what offside on a kickoff cost you. Almost 20 yards. And college football on ABC is brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Aflac. To find your 2005 Aflac Holiday Duck, visit our website. And Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste, and you get it. So bottom of the hour, Virginia and Miami. The Canes slipped to 9 after being upset. They've lost 2 games to get a spot in the ACC championship game against Florida State and a rematch. They must win this game, which doesn't appear to be an easy task right now, and then hope for a big upset by North Carolina against Virginia Tech, a game that's going to be televised on ESPN. And of course over at ABC it'll be the Notre Dame battle against Stanford for most of it.
Yeah, serious injury it looks like on the sideline. You got a lot of Virginia players there. Worried about this one. You got a group on the field.
Josh Zidenberg.
See Brennan Schmitz over there. Clint Sintem is on there sitting there watching this, and you can even see the concern on the Miami sideline too. Even the players there are taking a peek at it.
So we'll sort this out and take a break right now. Well, second-year fullback Josh Zidenberg suffered a leg injury and was helped off the field. He'll be going back to the locker room, and obvious injury there to the left leg. All right, it's 1st down and 10 now for the Canes. They trail it, and play action, set the screen, drop it off to Jones, and nothing doing as Parham jumps all over him along with Schmidt. Well, time now for our Aflac trivia quiz. Of these 4 coaches, who has the highest winning percentage as a Miami head coach? Dennis Erickson, Jimmy Johnson, Larry Coker, Howard Schnellenberg.
And they all have won national championships here, right?
Yes, they have. There was 5 national championships won here. Each of them won.
Huh.
Now the fullback Hill back in. The screen went nowhere. 4 down linemen. Right. Moore on the juggle to the 35-yard line, and a 1st and 10. There's the longest play of the day, 27 yards for the Canes.
And that's what you have to do. You have to get the ball downfield against these zone. The linebackers and the DBs are squatting on the short throws. They've kind of said that Miami's going to play us conservative. Let's force them to throw it downfield, and you see Kyle Wright made the right read there and ripped it into Ryan Moore.
Tony Franklin, the defensive back. 1st down and 10 from the 35, and Moore, very tall receiver. Ortega, the H-back. Olsen, then the left tackle, Winston, moves.
Yep.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 74 on the offense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Talked about it in the open. We saw that great throw, but you see right there the Virginia linebackers in secondary, no plays after the catch so far. Everything is just caught and tackle. Virginia is playing a zone defense, everything in front of them. No big plays by these speed receivers from Miami yet.
Hester has lined up as the tailback, and they'll motion him out. Wright pumped in that direction, came back deflected, incomplete, and storming in was Howie Long's son, Chris Long, the defensive lineman for the Cavaliers, and Pops will be happy with that play.
Devin Hester was wide open in the flat right there, and Kyle Wright decided he wanted to go to Chris Olsen down the field, the tight end. Hester was open. Then when he turned back to the other side of the field, there was no rhythm in the protection, and when he threw the ball, Chris Long was within about 1.5 yards of him to knock it down.
Moss is slotted to the right. Olsen will go out there too, and this basically will give him 5 wide. Tight end flexes out. Right, fires high, caught by Moss, just short of the 20-yard line. First down, Canes.
Well, Kai Parham, number 44, on the zone blitz, got there one step late on this play. Watch 44. He's going to come from right there, right into the middle of the field to try to get this play. Zone blitz, there he is. He's lined up in a stance. He's trying it, he's tracking it, and he's about a half a step off. Great throw from Wright, but Parham is expected to get there on that throw.
Wright is now thrown for 73 yards. Hester lining up, and this time he stays there on the draw play. Number 4 trying to step away, slips the first tackler, in trouble. Wright's got to throw a block, does. So he doubles all the way back to the 15. The Devin Hester speed, shades of a Reggie Bush of USC when you cut back and turn it into a positive gain. Of course, Reggie probably would have scored on it.
Thanks a lot. Gained 4 yards out of nothing, and I got a Reggie Bush alert on that one.
I couldn't resist. Jones back in as the tailback. Play fake. And here is Jenkins, short of the goal line, but it'll be a first and goal for the Canes. Things have started to loosen up a little bit.
Once they've gone downfield. Now look, this is going to be Olsen going deep down the field, and then you get a stop and a stop right here. This is very similar to the play that Kyle threw the interception last week. He could have dropped it off, double team on the tight end, but you drop it off underneath, let those backs go downfield. That's what Kyle Wright has to learn, not to fall in love with those tight ends on those corner routes.
2 tight ends and a fullback. It's Ortega to help lead the blocking. Here comes Jones, and he appeared to cut right back into the thick of the defense instead of bouncing this one to the outside. And John, how the Gators doing against the Noles up north, my friend?
Brent, they're doing very well, especially on special teams. Marcus Thomas with a block at his field goal attempt. Reggie Lewis picks it up on the run, and no one's going to catch him. Florida has a 14-0 lead over Florida State. Plenty of time left in the first half, though, Brent.
You know, John, down here, a lot of the front runners have they've left Urban Meyer, but you know, he's entitled to a little time in the SEC to see where the talent is around the league. And
both tackles over here, unbalanced.
They'll run to the left. Touchdown. Jones walks in that time.
That's a formation Miami loves to do, and they did it perfectly that time.
Extra point away from a tie here, Gary.
Yes, I think that all opened up with the long pass to Ryan Moore, don't you think, down the field?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, you can see it. Both tackle. You put the tight end in there, then the cutback, beautiful block, overrun by the linebacker that time. Set up, stretch play, read it, and cut back.
Abramson puts it into Monroe's hands. And,
missed it.
Missed the extra point. Shades of kicking problems that Coker. Now, last week, he passed up a field goal opportunity because of Petty's struggles, and they were stoned on 4th and 2. We'll come back and follow up on that kicking story. A 1-point game on a missed extra point. You know, Gary never hits a fat 5-iron. This is what I would do.
Unless there's water in front of the green, that's exactly what Petty did right there. Just a little bit of turf, and it didn't allow that foot to get cleanly through it, and misses his, how about this, 4th extra point of the year. That, I think Larry was a little hard on himself, Coach Coker, saying that he, you know, would like to do that over last week. You know, if Miami can't make a 4th and 1.5 yards. Come on, you should be able to make that to win a national championship.
Monroe, the punter, kicks it off, and it will be fielded by Michael Johnson. Already returned one, and he's short of the 20-yard line. So Sunday, Monday football coming up. The Saints against the injury riddled New York Jets. That's your Sunday night attraction. And then Monday, the big story. The Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. Can the Colts run the table? As we look at this beautiful view in Miami, we harken back to 1972 when the Dolphins were playing right here in the Orange Bowl, and they were the last team to go unbeaten. And now the Colts are stalking that record. They'll be up Monday night against Ben Roethlisberger, who's returning. Dropped wide open. Tom Sandy, the tight end, had broken free and couldn't hang on. Bob Greasy, one of our colleagues, the quarterback of the unbeaten Dolphins, had a couple of pretty good running backs. Zonka and Kick, and of course Don Shula.
Pretty good backup quarterback that year too.
Coach and Earl Morrill came in. And Bob got hurt. Did an outstanding job. Snelling is back. That's a good sign after being shaken up. 2nd down and 10. Williams goes in motion. Lundy and the linebacker Davis broke across, sealed it up. Romeo Davis broke that play up. So let's go back to the Aflac question on the Miami coaches. Who has the highest winning percentage as Miami's head coach? Is it Erickson, Johnson? There it is. Dennis Erickson. 87% of his games.
Not bad. Larry Coker's second in that group, by the way. But
you know, Howard Schnellenberger really put the show on the road down.
He did build it. He took it from nothing and built this program here. There's no doubt about that.
Atkins in the defensive line along with McCray. Pata, one of the defensive ends. Base 4-3. Merriweather trying to get the crowd in it on this 3rd down for Higgins.
Virginia had a chance to get the crowd out of it, but the drop ball by Sandy that time got the crowd back into the football game. Virginia would have had the ball at the 40-45 yard line right now.
Sprinting to the right. Higgins will tuck it away. Try to break for the 1st down. So Marcus Higgins, that's his best scramble of the day. That's 20 yards, and that's what Miami wanted to avoid. They wanted to keep him in the pocket, make him throw the defensive game plan, and this time he breaks out on 3rd and 11.
I know. This was a design play. I don't know if it was a screen to a running back that got held or just a quarterback screen. Let's see what happens right here. You see it, the linemen are going to go downfield. Yes, the running back gets blocked. Higgins is smart enough to know he's got offensive linemen in front of him. We're expecting to be a screen pass, and he just runs with it.
Lundy, daylight, 45, midfield. Almost to the Canes' 40-yard line. And what a running attack Virginia has unleashed behind Barthelmess, the center. Albert, Osbury, the guards, DeBrickashaw, Ferguson, and Brad Butler, the 2 tackles. They are blowing some holes in this Cane defense, Gary.
Yeah, they're doing it. And that one was the way I really like to run the ball against Miami if I was calling plays. A quick hitter. That was a quick trap or down block, a G block by that offensive line, but very, very quick into that lineman for Miami.
Lundy. 2nd down and long. McIntosh making the tackle. Would you believe that Wake Forest is rushing for the most yards against? And of course they blew him out.
Yeah, Chris Barkley's the guy who ran for over 100, and Ronnie Drummond. Brent asked me that before. I had to write in my notes. I just don't read my notes.
Read your notes. You know,
read my notes. They're right there.
You know, it was a layup for you.
I know.
2nd down.
Fumbled it. Hey. I've been known to do that on that Thanksgiving weekend.
Gary, the rushing 96 yards for Virginia here in the 1st half. Quarterback draw all the way, and a fine play by Glenn Cook was in there along with Campbell, number 81. Well, coming up now, Capital One halftime report. And John and the gang. Craig and Aaron, they'll have highlights and analysis. If you just got in, I'll show you about the Iowa State And Kansas winning it in dramatic fashion again, and tribute to college football. What a season this has been. Third down. Minor's the motion receiver. Higgins throwing, deflected, incomplete. Williams was the intended target that time. Would have been a first down, Gary.
That ball has to be caught. That hit him right in the shoulder pad. I don't think it was deflected at the end of it. This is a great throw. Third and long. Watch this. Higgins rips this ball in there. No one touches, hits him in the shoulder pad and the helmet, and the Virginia bench goes, come on. They clap in their hands and they go, we got to make those type of plays.
When I did the Boston College game, he dropped a couple of balls in that game. He has, though, made a huge play. He's been the go-to guy. Chris Gold is the punter. Hester back deep for the Canes. Hangs this one up, and it takes a beautiful Virginia bounce. What a punt.
Right.
Out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So when we come back, it will not be very good field position for Kyle Wright and the Canes. They're down a point. Now, see, you're a freshman linebacker. He's out of Fairfield, Virginia. This is Aaron Clark. And Gary, he must be the keeper of the flag.
Yeah, you know how in the NFL you got to go get donuts? I think for Virginia, if you're a young freshman, you got to carry the flag.
All right, so we got the flag here. But they're going to plant it in the middle of the field if they win this game?
Well, you know, I mean, got to earn your keep on Virginia.
Down a point now, missing an extra point. Jones and Kyle slips, but nobody was on him. So he gets it off to Ortega. And that could have been a disaster. Our Pacific Life game summary. Each team has scored a touchdown. Emmanuel Myers, 90 yards, the end-around pass to Williams, and the Cavaliers struck first. Then it was Jones of an unbalanced line powering in, and Virginia has rushed for 109 yards, and Higgins being taped over there, and second down and short for the Canes.
Everybody up for Virginia.
Steps through the hole for a first down. Appleby, who was replaced, injured Ahmad Brooks, makes the tackle. Jack?
Brent, if you take a look at Charlie Jones, the number may be familiar. There's a reason why. He requested it when he came to Miami, said he patterns his play and admires this guy. You remember him? Jared Payton. Now, there's a lot of similarities with Payton. Remember, Payton filled in for an injured Frank Gore. Guess what? Now all of a sudden this guy's filling in for an injured Tyrone Moss.
And Tyrone, Jack, still the leading rusher for Miami, even though he's been missing in action here. Jones is trying to get the job done. Off a hill block, cuts the daylight. That's his best run of the day. To the 42-yard line. Credit Hill with that block, and it's a 22-yard run.
Running right up against the 3-4 defense. This is something that Al Groh just can't have happen. It's two gap responsibilities up front. That means those defensive linemen try to take on the offensive linemen and force the ball wide. When you gash a 3-4 defense, you are doing some blocking up front.
Wolfslager, the center, helped clear the way that time. Right in the pocket, stands tall, downfield, and he threw into coverage that time. Olsen was the intended receiver, and he was not wide open. What'd you see, Gary?
Well, he read the coverage properly, but did not see that linebacker had Olsen all the way. You know, Kyle Wright just depends on Greg Olsen a little bit too much. He has to learn to know he's a great receiver. By the way, he hasn't caught a pass now in 2 games. Maybe that's part of it. But he has to also know that if they take him away, go somewhere else.
Moss is back in the slot on the right. He's been dangerous there today. They're going to run Jones, and he is cut from behind as Marcus Hamilton makes a sharp tackle.
Yeah, that is really the college football defense that you don't see as much in the NFL. To the short side of the field, you must account for corners. Marcus Hamilton is a corner on this football team. And when you get him on the short side without a wide receiver, occasionally, and in this game a little bit more than occasionally, he's going to come around the side and try to stop that run game. It's critical for Virginia right now. 3rd and long. They can't give this one up.
Pressure, pressure, pressure.
Incomplete. They didn't.
See, same thing right there. A little bit too much eyes for just Greg Olsen on the play. Both of them are talking about a communication. I expect you to go inside. I want to go outside. I want to hook. That's a lot to do on 3rd and long.
3:44 to go. 4th down and 10. Byers is back deep. Monroe, the punter. Another one of the Canes from Dwyer High School. Byers calling everybody out. And it'll go out of bounds. The referee is spotting it. And it'll be marked at the 23. Let's take a look at today's Dodge defensive playbook with Gary Danielson.
When you have some problems stopping a running quarterback, what you do is start to bring those secondary guys. This was the quarterback draw. 2nd down play last series. Miami crowds the line of scrimmage, goes bump and run outside, and starts to play that attacking defense. When they try to get that game going in their favor, they start to bring linebackers and safeties occasionally. That's what Randy Shannon, defensive coordinator, dialed up that last series.
Snelling battering straight ahead to the 26-yard line, and against a team that seldom gives up a 100-yard rusher. Here in the first half, Virginia has stuck it to him with the running game of Lundy and Snelling, not to mention Higgins. Looks like Stupar a little bit shake up there, and the Butler says, "Come on, shake it off. Let's go." So the tight end kind of hobbles over there to the left side. Here's Snelling, not going anywhere. Orion Harris jumped that play. Beautiful. Area coverage courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Its fleet of airships reminding you to travel with peace of mind on this holiday weekend on Goodyear's new Assurance tires.
I don't think
reach home safely, everybody. Your families. I know there's a lot of traveling coming up, probably later today and early tomorrow morning. Beautiful scene as you look down here. 3rd down. Doubling back is Higgins with that escapability, gets back to the 30, but he is still short of the 1st down, so Virginia will have to punt. Rocky McIntosh making the stop.
That was good defense, Miami, that time, Brent. That was a design scramble to the side, to the right side that time. Miami forced that play back and made Higgins run the ball and could not get it. Watch the defensive end come upfield, come upfield. This is a design scramble. Could not get to the outside. Look, he goes right away. They force him back inside. You're not going to get outside of me. That's the way I've been taught all week. Bring it back in. Javon Nanton does a great job of turning that play back in, and Higgins does not pick up the 1st down on 3rd and long.
Check it down below with Jack.
Well, Gary, you said it best when you came down here to visit with the players on Tuesday. There was a funk around Coral Gables, and maybe the tone was set by this guy, Larry Coker, who said this after last week's loss. When he was asked how disappointed he was, he said, "How deep's the ocean?" That's how low we feel on the coaching staff, and he felt the players felt the same way. Now, before the start of the game, I asked Coach Coker what he did to try and turn things around. He said they felt that the key was their Tuesday practice. A week ago, the Tuesday practice was not very good, as you guys recall, but he said this week it was sharp, it was crisp, and he looked forward to this game. I can't wait to talk to him at halftime to find out what he thinks now.
Well, Jack, we're at the top of the hour down here in Miami. 5 o'clock. Darkness closing in this time of year. And the Canes trail it because of a missed extra point. It is 10-9. Devin Hester will try to ignite a rally here with a punt return, but The kicking game for Virginia so far has been absolutely rock solid, and Chris Gold is your punter trotting onto the field right now.
And watch this, Virginia does not use wide gunners to put any pressure on Hester. Everybody's right in here, no gunner to the outside to kind of force him in here. This should be an opportunity for Hester to get some good field position if it's a catchable ball.
Wanting to avoid a blocked punt at all costs. They do just that. This is going to be field position Miami. Hester runs up, got it. Breaks free, could be gone. No, as Gold slowed him up, and Aaron Clark, the young flag carrier, saves the day with a special teams tackle.
See what happens here. This is not a good punt. And without gunners, Virginia could not get down deep enough. And as you say, the guy could do more than just carry the flag. Right now, he's carrying the hopes to keep this thing at a one-point game. Hand it off that flag, go out there, make a tackle, come back at the flag.
It's a young man over there. That's going to be kind of interesting to watch. I mean, he's going to get 5 stars for that tackle because Devin Hester was just a step away from going the distance. Now the screen pass, Hill, the fullback. Close to a first down. And John, I know UConn's got a game in the Big East. What's happening there, my friend?
Well, Brett, important for South Florida. They're trying to stay alive in a BCS race. Meanwhile, Darius Butler, after a South Florida touchdown, takes the kickoff back 90 yards for a touchdown.
And he has done a good job up there, hasn't he? And Hill powers for the first down. That'll stop the clock. 1:16 remaining here. Miami with 2 timeouts. They got plenty of time here to see what they can do.
And of course, Randy Edsall has ACC ties. Was the defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech. He's back.
Georgia Tech tonight plays Georgia. Yes. That's one of our primetime games. They'll share the airspace with Notre Dame and Stanford. 2 well-coached teams, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Don't you think? You bet. Georgia Tech showed that last week. That was a heck. They'd had a lot of distractions they battled. And now first down, wide open and underneath. And there, Olsen's first catch in 2 weeks. And out of bounds, stops the clock. His brother, like I said, a backup quarterback of Virginia over on the other sideline. His father, a high school football coach in New Jersey. The family is here today. Yeah, watch this. They kind of go down the middle, go out here, tight end in the flat. This is the way you do it if you're a quarterback. You look downfield, and then you become patient. Nobody there. Linebackers drop it deep. You got the drop-off guy to the flat. Just know he's there. You don't have to see him. Just like TV, you don't have to see him. You just know he's there. Jenkins, Moss, play fake. Flanker screen, a quick one to Moss. He's surrounded, breaks free. Touchdown, Miami. They had Moss back at the line of scrimmage. He broke free, a 17-yard bolt, and the Canes lead it. Now the extra point is an adventure. And will they go for 2 here? They missed 1. Now Petty's on the field. Yeah, I think was as good a field goal kicker as Virginia has. I think I'd get the 16 points. 2 field goals, you can't lose 16-15 here. I like this. Go for 1. And it's early in the game. Absolutely. You frequently are critical tying it too early. Oh, no. Off to the right. Go for 2. What in the world? That is 2 missed extra points. Chuck Knobloch disease here for your extra point kicker. Sometimes it gets in your head. You just get the yips, and right now Petty has the yips on this one. Now let's go back to the touchdown. Talked about yards after catch. This is the nightmare for Virginia. A 1-yard pass should be stopped, should be tackled. You got him hemmed in, makes a miss. Yards after catch gives them 6 points, and in this case, 6 points. That's all they got, 6 points. Yeah, Ryan Best had him right to gun sights. Absolutely. Right there. Can't let that happen. They're just sort of over pursuing all out. And Moss get some yaks on that.
Yeah, it sure was. And 82 yards. Now it starts to mount. You throw those short passes and one of them for a touchdown. You can see he really starts to mount up. But, well, I just thought that was a gimme. You don't see guys miss 2 in a row like this.
Let's go back to watch Florida State. Snap was not good. Monroe can't get it there. That would have tied the Florida State game. Then against Wake Forest, hit the upright with that extra point. Had this one blocked, and so just kicking woes mounting here for Coach Coker and the Canes.
Yeah, and I think Larry Coker, as a head coach, fell on his sword last week and said, you know, I shouldn't have gone. I should have taken the 3 points there. But I think that has to enter in his mind. I think that is really, to be, he's a little critical of himself, but I liked his strategy. It just didn't work.
There's a beautiful kickoff, and this will come out on the 20-yard line. Well, let's take a look at our drive summary presented by Drive Insurance from Progressive. And remember, it was after the punt. Devin Hester, 37 yards in 4 plays, took 102. So it was a field position battle. You go back to the series when Virginia couldn't move it out and get a 1st and 10. That was what set the table.
Absolutely, and this is let's see, they both look exactly alike. This is the second one. The first one hit the bar. This one's worse than the upright. This one's worse.
Can I make a prediction? I guarantee you Miami's going for 2.
Who cares about strategy? If you can't make him, you can't make him.
If you can't kick him, you might as well try to run him in.
All right, we gave him the grass last time. Let's see if he hits the grass again. Yes, he did, didn't he?
Fatter. Looked like one of my 3-woods.
You know, he has to go get measured. You know, your clubs might be too long. His leg might be too long. Maybe he grew or something.
There's this hole, the 13th hole out the stock farm. I've buried 3-woods out there all the time for that second shot.
Boy, he just quit on the kick both times. You could see it. He just didn't drive through. Just kind of laid it off, and I've been there. You know what's nice about talking golf terms? You can be a terrible golfer, but you sound good. You know what I mean? You can shoot 90 and just laid it off.
That's great.
You know, you say what you want.
Shoot 90?
Right, well.
Give me a couple of 90s.
Well, Brent makes me play the championship team when we play.
Here's a look at the Dr. Pepper ACC update. And Gary, a big day around the conference. And North Carolina State, that qualifies them for a bowl game.
Wow.
That was huge right there. And the Gators are up at halftime up in Gainesville. And then tonight, of course, Georgia Tech on ABC and North Carolina, Virginia Tech on ESPN. And a win by Virginia Tech, they would play Florida State for the ACC championship. The outcome of the Florida game doesn't mean a thing as far as the ACC is concerned, of course. And here is Byers, who threw their touchdown pass, taking it out of bounds.
I'm really surprised that Virginia just isn't taking this to the house, to tell you the truth. They don't want to punt again. You know, and I'm just saying, what are your chances? You're going into the win. I know you got a good field goal kicker, but boy, a mistake down here right now, and it's going to be sharks in the water. You know, 15-10 going to halftime. He's the coach, but I'm just saying, I'm really surprised they're just not running this thing out.
All of the touchdowns have been scored and left as we look at the field, end zone with the wind at the offense's back.
Surely they'll run the ball, huh?
Play fake. Down he goes at the 13-yard line. Thomas Carroll, the senior, in his last game in the Orange Bowl.
And Miami's only got 1 timeout left right now. And, you know, with 3rd and long, so if you're Virginia, you should be okay here still not to have to punt. You just don't want to punt again. Tried to run the bootleg, and Carroll stays with it. Kind of got a bump last week with an injury, kind of a head concussion. Looks like he's okay.
So Miami uses its last timeout to stop the clock with 29 seconds, and we'll take a break. 205 yards of offense for Virginia, 202 for Miami. 15-10. The Canes have scored 2 touchdowns and missed 2 extra points here. Well, we've got, Gary, we've got a 3rd down, 29 seconds.
Well, Virginia, to me, is very fortunate they completed that first pass, because had they not, and the clock kept running on that one, they'd be in a position where they would have had to punt right now. You got to believe this is a quarterback draw.
inside handoff. Lundy, the ball carrier.
And that'll take it to halftime.
Miami, remember, does not have a timeout. So 15-10. And let's go down to Jack Arute.
Coach, it's only 5 points difference, but take me to that last series of plays and the thought process with what you were trying to accomplish.
I mean, with us having the ball there?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the only bad, we played pretty hard, and, I told you before the game, Jack, that what we didn't want was for their special teams to steal the game away from us, which, we let a play there kind of open the door to that particular thing. So that's one thing we didn't get accomplished. Other than that, we didn't want to play 29 good minutes, and let the thing end up 18-10 or 22-10. So the only bad thing that could happen to us was that they get the ball back again and have the opportunity to score.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
All right, Jack, there we have it. The Cavaliers with a 90-yard touchdown, but they still trail Miami 15-10. We're at the half.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
15-10, Miami leads Virginia, but the Cavaliers struck for the longest pass play ever against Miami. 90 yards. Byers to Williams. That is the longest pass play ever against a Hurricane defense. Byers, 1 of 3 on the year. Then Centauros Moss of the Canes slips a tackle. 17 yards. And folks, it's a strange number, 15, because of a pair of missed extra points. And Gary, you were talking, Virginia's given themselves a chance in this game. I think that's the key element that comes out of the first half.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that Al Groh took a chance throwing on first down with 50 seconds to go in a half. He's in the game.
Absolutely.
He's running the ball. He's making some plays, and his defense, if they can tackle the short pass, I mean, those short pass long runs will kill you.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that Jack had a chance to speak with Coach Coker when he came out of the locker room. What a beautiful sunset, and Larry hopes it's not setting on him. But Jack, what did he say about the kicking situation?
Well, he was not at all happy. In fact, going in, he said that it was unacceptable, the performance of Petty so far. But on the way out, I said, well, what are you going to do? He said that field goal was so good. He said, I'm going to give him one more chance. He said, if he doesn't convert on the next opportunity, we'll go to the backup, Mark Kent.
Jack, he kicked the field goal into the wind, misses the 2 extra points with the wind at his back, hit them both fat.
Yeah, and remember the 15-yard penalty right before the field goal to back him off there?
Now, this is kind of interesting because Miami is going to take the wind here in the second half. Remember, deferring was Virginia. That breeze is going to be at their back in the fourth quarter. I know you like what Tressel did. You like having the wind in the fourth quarter.
I've always felt that, there's more plays in the fourth quarter. I think Miami, though, would like to get this game going their way, pin them back on the 20 and try to get control in this game before the fourth quarter. That might be the plan.
So it'll come out on the 20-yard line. And here's our Pacific Life game summary stats. And the Cavaliers are slugging it out with the Canes down here in South Florida right now, 205 to 202. Gary, what's out of whack in this game?
Well, I think Virginia's ability to run the ball, they haven't had like it's 190-yard run like the pass. They've been against this defense that's only given up 3.5 yards per play, have been able to get 9 rushes of 4 yards or more, and that's what you consider a success, and that's why they're still in this football game.
Miami's defense is giving up only 11.4 points a game, second to Alabama in the nation. And coming with that run play for the tailback to start the second half, Lundy gets the first carry.
Miami tackle is by Leon Williams. Play gain 3 yards. Second down at 7. 23-yard line.
Right up the middle again with Lundy. And this is going to be in moving the pile a little bit. Now, the lights here are a story, and you can see the Musco lights that were brought in to the Orange Bowl because of the hurricane damage, and you see the old light standards when you see them, they have all been taken down. So we have portable light towers. There were the old towers that stand. And we have these lights, and there are a lot of shadows here as evening approaches. So it's going to make it kind of interesting. Catching the ball, punts, long passes, third down. Higgins dances and won't go. Nothing doing. And Jack, darkness starting to fall here in South Florida.
Yeah, Brett, and what the lights have done, and I've experienced it myself already, over my shoulder, you can see one bank of the Musco light, especially if you're going long on a pass and you start to look up to try and find the ball. It'll actually give you a little blinking in your eyes, and you lose it for just a second. Also on punts and kickoffs, as you said, Gary, just something else to mix it up in this second half.
And Gary here, they're still not going with gunners.
No.
They're going to protect the punter Gold, and Hester could have a free shot.
Into the wind, too, remember.
Gold drills this one. Back to the 29. And very good coverage. That was a good punt into the wind. He just kind of bore it in. And Gardner, the defender, getting down to make the stop. So
you know, when Devin caught that ball, Brent, he had 20 yards of space before between the Virginia first line of defense and where he was. Just there was no setup of any type of fence for him to get to. He just kind of had to crash into that fence and get what he could out of it.
You don't think that you don't agree with that strategy and not send a gunner's down, do you?
I think if Gold kicks it that well like that, it'll work. But if he misses one, they're in trouble.
Jones, the tailback. Hit in the backfield. A terrific play by Brennan Schmidt. So a 4-year career, never missed a game. Senior from McLean, Virginia, and he's fabulous. What endurance.
Yeah, and you're always, after 50 games, he's going, well, you know, if nobody blocks me, guys, I got 50 games of experience here, and if you kind of, I think it was a busted assignment on the Miami offensive line and just let him come clean through. Butler went the wrong way, and no one blocked the defensive end right in front of him.
These defensive linemen will try to get into right space if they can. The offensive line throws it down and underneath to Jones, breaks a tackle, and we asked Brennan Schmidt about getting into the quarterback's head.
I think just getting hits on him, or just, you know, get just about every other play, whether you get a sack or a hit, getting in his face and just letting him know that you're there.
A big third down for Schmidt and his defense.
Yeah, and they've only gotten one of them in the football game, but that missed tackle, as you can see, one for 14 last week and 1 for 5 here, but that missed tackle allowed to make it 3rd and 5 or 6 instead of 3rd and 10. Gives Kyle Wright and Miami a chance to pick it up.
They put Parham down. He almost got there. Wright snaps one off to Moss for the first down at the 44-yard line. Center is Moss, and the defense was closing in that time. Parham.
Great. Watch this offensive line. They've taken a lot. I challenged them today saying, you know, it's not about the U, it's about YOU. That offensive line must finish blocks. Look how they finished, and that pocket for Kyle Wright. When you give Kyle and a quarterback a chance to step in it on 3rd and long, you can see what he did. That's what we're used to seeing for that Miami offensive line.
Blitz. They blitz the run and they do the job. Antonio Appleby, who replaced Ahmed Brooks, who's not in uniform today, making the stop. So there's number 58 with a big play. And Cavaliers coming up, you know, they're right in the thick of this. They were 3-touchdown underdog, trailing by 5.
Appleby, a true freshman, will play more snaps, Al Groh told me, in this game than will he have played all season for his defense.
Jala's out to the left of the quarterback. Play fake, and they're rolling in that direction. Ortega, beautifully designed play for that defense. And Ortega is to the 31-yard line. That's a 1st and 10 for Miami. A perfect call against that blitz.
Yeah, that offensive line really sold it. You could see it. McMeans, Winston, they all came closing down. That's just like a long handoff to Ortega. And on a long play. Remember, they lost yardage on first down. They were able to get it where they got a 1st and 10 on a nothing throw. And that's kind of becoming a story right here. The touchdown at the end of the half, Kyle Wright threw 3 short passes and was able to get a touchdown. There's another short pass, and they're able to get a first down. That is something that a zone team, a 3-4 zone team, just can't live with.
Moore and Jenkins are the wide receivers. Jones, the running back. Wright gets time, fires near side, dropped by Moore. There's been some drop balls here tonight, too.
Well, that one was right into the lights. Now, you know, that was right at that angle that Jack was talking about, and those were very low lights. And, you know, Ryan Moore had struggled last year with only 9 receptions after a breakout year as a freshman when he caught 44 balls. But, you know, I'm going to just give him the benefit of the doubt that that one was right at the angle that Jack was standing right there.
Very kind of a former quarterback to let a wide receiver off.
I'd say that
one of the few times. All right, inside shuttle pass, the fullback, fumble. Virginia's got it. It's not down. Virginia's got it.
Quad Hill looked around.
This will be looked at, an instant replay to make sure that the knee wasn't down. Gorham recovered it. He recovered the fumble, and coach is very, very upset.
Shuffle pass, ball's coming out. Yep,
no
that's
question.
Clear fumble that time. Quad Hill looked around to the linesman, say, help me out here, but nope. You're not going to get any help on this one, Quad. That ball's clearly out. The big turnover.
Yeah, there goes the replay. They will review it, but it appeared to us.
The play is under review.
It appeared to us that the running back was on top of the Virginia defensive player, and the knee did not reach the ground. Now, that was an instant analysis. Let's take a look here and see. It was inside shuttle pass, certainly a reception, certainly not an incomplete pass. And down he goes, and the ball, Gary, I think you agree, right? That
I do, yes. And you know, we don't have the ability to slow it down and TiVo it like they do, but that ball's clearly being bobbled before he comes down to me. And I think that, but take your time. It's a big play at this portion of the game to make sure they get it right.
This is what instant replay is all about.
Of course, I'm capable of changing my mind.
Oh, I know you are.
like a flash, I can do that.
I want to remind everybody, it's college football. We got some big games tonight.
Look at Jack. Jack's going to make the call. He's right there.
Jack's right there. Jack.
Did Jack see it down there or something? He's making an extra call. Jack's the one without the hat, by the way.
ESPN, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, South Florida rooting for the Tar Heels tonight. And it's on ABC. We've got Notre Dame, Stanford, and some of you will see Georgia against Georgia Tech, SEC against ACC. That's always a dandy battle. And there is your reversals. The Big East leading the way with 40%, and the SEC with the fewest, as Gary once said, gentlemen in the SEC, Southern gentlemen. Up in
After
review,
review,
embarrass anybody.
Play stance is called on the field. First down.
So there you have it. Boy, Jack was right there, huh?
He was. You know, I got to say, though, if we could get that shot at Jack at that light, he looks pretty good in this light, like Barbara Streisand lighting, you know? Doesn't he look good in this lighting?
First down and 10.
You guys are cold.
I knew these. Play fake. Higgins dashes. That appeared to be a quarterback run all the way, as quick as he was at putting it away on that bootleg. But you know, Jack, when he was up there, Jack was talking to him about why you like to run, Marcus.
I trust my feet 110%. You know, I try to do what I'm supposed to do, go through my reads, but every once in a while, you know, the pocket might get rushed, or you know, you might get moved out the pocket or whatever, and And once it breaks down, then I'm happy because I can go out there and try to make something happen.
Try to make it happen, and he's going to take off again. Going to cut back and first down. He read that perfectly that time. He was coming over at an angle. That's a 12-yard gain. He saw enough daylight out of the shoe, and Marcus Hagans picks up the first down.
Watch Leon Williams right here, Brent. When the crossing route comes behind, he turns around to get him. Marcus Hagans on the bootleg watches the middle linebacker. He says, okay, you turn your back on me. See how he turns his back right there? He says, I got to run the ball. And when you got to pick up the guy crossing route, just turn it up and make the play. Perfect read by Marcus.
And then that beautiful cutback gets the first down. And penalty flags fly prior to the snap. This will cost Virginia.
Number 78 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Marshall Asbury, the guard.
First down and 15.
First down and 15.
3 seniors on this offensive line for Virginia. A freshman, Albert, and Asbury is a sophomore. So you can see how they ebb and flow with these college football teams. You got to plug some spots, and you got some young guys playing.
Gary, Miami doesn't have a sack yet against this offensive line, do they?
Neither. I don't think either team has a sack in this game. Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yep, they do. Yep.
Virginia got one. That short drop. Fire, beautiful pass. This time the tight end, Tom Santi, hangs on to it. Trying to get the first down. And Hagans and Allen Iverson. There's a similarity in how they play the game.
Well, they both come from that Tidewater area, and during the BC game, we talked about the fact that Marcus Hagans looks to Allen Iverson for a lot of inspiration and advice. This week, he talked to AI, and I asked him, well, what did Allen Iverson tell you as a former quarterback to a current quarterback? He said, coming down here to Miami, make sure that you're patient. What do you think, guys, so far? What does he get for a grade?
I'm surprised he didn't tell him to stay off South Beach. Second down. And Snelling is jumped. That's a beautiful play by Thomas Carroll, number 90, the senior, in his last game here in the Orange Bowl.
And Merriweather was up there also. And when you move the ball against Miami, Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, brings his people. You see the right side of the screen. Carroll, there's Merriweather, the safety. They kind of play that zone field. They rush from the field, and everybody takes the gap to the short side and just plug all those 8 gaps on the field. Very tough to run.
And the way that play is designed with Big Ferguson blocking away from Carroll, he had to be delighted at the prospect of coming down the line without anybody hitting him. Now it's Hagans. First down.
Now that was a run all the way. No one even went out for a pass. That was just quarterback sweep. They shifted 2 guys out there and kind of outflanked the Miami defense, and Hagans just dove for it. You can see it right. He's got it in the left hand. There's no way he's going to throw it. Switches it at the end and then dives out.
Look who they put out to block. The linebacker, Parham, which
right
Al will use. And
yep.
44 comes out to pave the way.
Good look right there. That's exactly what happened.
Lundy. Nothing much doing. That play was jammed by McIntosh.
You know what's happening here, though, with the turnover by Miami. And remember, Miami took the wind in the third quarter, but Virginia now is eating up a lot of this clock in the third quarter. And if they take it, 15-10 into the fourth quarter, I think they like that.
And then you've got the situation with the Cavaliers will have that little breeze.
And a great field goal kicker who I saw in warm-ups make it from 60 yards. So I'll miss it from 60 yards, too.
Second down. McIntosh got him, fumble recovered by Hagans back on the 40-yard line. But this is a loss of 12 yards.
Yeah, that's the first sack of the game because that was a pass play. He's going to drop it off on the play, and McIntosh was right in his face. And what AI should have told him is, make sure you do the fake shot and go around him, because he tried to dribble it and couldn't get by him on that one.
Now Virginia wants to just pick up a few yards here, and that's the 4th sack of the game for Miami. They're going to risk it. Higgins going to fire, going to go for Williams deep, and he's pushed. That could bring a flag. No, I don't see any yellow.
Wow.
Man, I thought he was pushed, Gary. We got to see this one again on replay. The naked eye looked like there were, but he's not complaining. He's walking off the field.
Well, he's got a tall receiver against a shorter defensive back. Just throws it up. He goes, you know, this is as good as a punt. You can see it. They both guys kind of push, I'm going to say. You know what? Both of them kind of shove each other. I think with Maxey falling down, that helped not make the play call that time. You think interference still?
Well, I think it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
If I'm in Virginia, that was interference. If I'm down in South Florida, I'll say, no.
I thought it was a good night call.
Here's Hester. Looking for his daylight. Spun back and down at the 25-yard line. And there is Tyrus Gardner. He's one of those terrors on special teams, isn't he? 15-10. Good game in the Orange Bowl. Timeout. That's an interesting shot, isn't it? Huh?
Boy, that's a dream for a lot of people right there, huh?
Not bad to come down to school here in South Florida. Oh, yeah. Got themselves a new basketball arena. It'll be exciting. Look at the young players on that team. And Jones battling. And let's check in with our friend John Saunders in New York. John, what's going on?
Well, Brent, it's the singular All-America Player of the Week update. We're going to give our nod to Brian Luke, who came off the bench for Kansas and ran for a touchdown, threw for that touchdown, which tied the game, then led them to the victory in overtime and knocked Iowa State out of the Big 12 championship game. Text the word VOTE to 87654 now on your singular phone for your ballot and a chance to win a trip to the national championship. Brent.
You know, John, big old man Gino's done a good job out there with the Jayhawks, hasn't he? Hester now lined up. Got it on the flanker screen. And Parham over to make the stop, and this will be third down at about 5. Good football player, number 44. College football on ABC, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Citi Simplicity credit cards. Citi, live richly. And Singular, raising the bar. The skyline of Miami, ever changing. A lot of building going on here downtown. Vibrant entrance to Central America, South America. Third down. There's the first down. They hit Moore.
Yeah. You know, that was a perfect call by Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator. Virginia was bringing that Georgia Tech blitz. What I mean is that field blitz. And he threw a very quick 5-step drop, quick out to the outside. It was about a 12-yard out. There's no blitz alive that could get to Kyle Wright. And boy, wouldn't Miami like to have had a couple of those quick throws last week.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Kyle Wright has some talent, doesn't he?
No, I like him.
He has some talent.
I liked him in the Florida State loss.
Yep.
Like you said, he'll learn from that loss last week, that decision. Hester taking a flip the other way. He didn't get the first down. He got jammed up over there, and it'll be a second down coming up.
You know what I was talking about in the open is we did our first game, Florida State, and then we saw him against Colorado. We talked early he had to earn the trust of his teammates and the coaching staff. I think he's there with that. I think they know he can play. Now, next step for a quarterback to be a winning national championship quarterback, a Matt Leinart or a Vince Young, is to take ownership of the team like Vince did, you know, to coach, just let me be me. Like Matt Leinart did, calling an audible against Notre Dame to put the game on his shoulders. That's where Kyle has to go in the future.
He hands off this time to Hester. Slides through for the first down. Time permitting, the thrifty Colorado postgame report. John, Craig, and Aaron. So they have all the highlights coming up for you. And what are we? Just about the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. Canes trying to put together a drive. The wind will be at their back for 3 minutes and 11 seconds. They lead this by 5. If you're wondering about did they kick 5 field goals, no. They've missed 2 extra points. Wolfslager leads the offensive line up for the Canes. First down and 10 in Virginia territory, and in trouble. Down, sacked, and getting it done was Clint Centum that time. And that, I believe, is about the 5th sack of the night. Yes, it is. And our aerial coverage is courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company and its fleet of airships, reminding you to travel with peace of mind on Goodyear's new Assurance tires. And that's the first sack, 5th overall in the game, but the first sack here by Miami. And remember, the Canes gave up 7 last year.
And 9 against Florida State. You know, the 2 losses, that was the story so far today, this offensive line. Now remember, it's not Virginia's style to attack with that defensive line, so a little different matchup.
On second down, downfield, got it, first down, a beautiful strike that time by Wright. And he hit Greg Olsen, the tight end, for 30 yards.
Yeah, one of the Virginia players fell down on the play, but it was a perfect throw. Ryan Best, the safety, a nickelback, came in. He had Greg Olsen down the middle. Again, it's that middle read. The safeties go wide. Kyle Wright threw one of these earlier. Now let's watch it. We got a synced up 82 right there. Watch the safety fall down right here. He's going to fall down as the ball's on the way, and that allowed for that pass just to sneak right in there. Great throw.
Wright's back in the gun. Jones with the handoff. And he stopped short of the 20-yard line, so it will be second down. Kwaku Robinson making the play for the Cavaliers.
Number 98, Robinson, a tackle for the Cavaliers.
Hester, no running, no tailback in there, so Hester and Moss are going to be, one of them are going to be lined up either as an empty or as a tailback.
And we're at the top of the hour. 15-10 Miami with the lead and driving with the breeze at their back right now. Devin Hester has checked in and he's lined up at tailback. End around. Here comes Jenkins. Jenkins out of bounds, and he is short of the first down on that far side. Kyle Wright leading the way for Jenkins on the end around with this block.
Yeah, really like the call here. Miami went unbalanced. They usually run to their unbalance. They put Hester, the speed back. Everything tells Virginia it's going to go left, and then they come back and run the reverse. Kyle Wright pitches it, turns around, and just gets in the way that time. Nice call.
Well-designed play, wasn't it? Hill the fullback. Jones back in as the running back. Third down and short, and that costs them 5. A costly mistake by the offensive line.
Second time by Eric Winston, one of the brightest players on this football team.
Number 68 on the offense, 5 yards.
They called that one on McMeans.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it was McMeans Winston saw McMeans move, and he moved too. So that's what happens. It was a chain reaction. Boy, that's different. 3rd and a yard, less than a yard. Now 3rd and 6, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big
especially with
loss.
your kicking game the way it's going right now. Which direction do you think Petty would like to kick?
Coker is facing another decision.
Yes, exactly. Do you take a timeout if you don't do it, or do you go for it on 4th down?
Drop it to the fullback, Hill. And you can see as he reached out for the first down line, the spot is going to be important, and Coker and the staff are looking at it.
Yep.
And last week, remember, Larry faced this same situation. Went to that unbalanced line that Gary told you about. Ran Jones to the left. Georgia Tech stoned it. But in this situation, he will send Petty onto the field. What do you think about this call, Gary?
Can I wait till after he makes it or misses it? I think I kick the field goal, make it an 8-point game. You got to live with him. You said you were going to go with him. Go with him.
30-yarder. He just can't kick extra points.
Exactly. Back
He's
me
2
up.
for 2 with field goals.
No short game.
But it's an 8-point game as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Some fine defense on both sides, and we'll be back with the money quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Sebastian, the Irish feeling good right now. Canes got an 8-point lead. He's got to hold on here in the fourth. Cavaliers, remember, will have that breeze at their back. Monroe will be punting. I should say kicking. I saw the punter down there, and I forgot that he also does the kicking off for this team. So Monroe put it on the tee. Johnson back deep. Into the wind. And Johnson thought about it, but it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Marcus Hagans only 4 of 10. He's thrown for only 36 yards. He's got to pick it up when we come back. Though remember, 90 of the 232 yards that Virginia's put on Miami today came on a pass play off an end around. So it was trickery, and there was a collision for the Canes, and that gave up the big touchdown. Yeah. Now it is up to Hagans and the offense to get something going here.
And this is when Miami's front and linebackers really start to make and put pressure on the quarterback. 44% for the year, quarterbacks against Miami's pass defense.
Middle, great catch. Right over the middle. Jonathan Stupar's got it, and that's what they need here in the fourth quarter. I was talking to some of the officials, Paul D, the athletic director of Miami. He said, you know, life's a little bit tougher in the ACC than what we had in the Big East. If you're wondering about where they might go for a bowl, remember the Gator Bowl. First, though, they have to win this game. That's not going to be easy.
No, well, I think they feel good about where they are, though, now, Brent. I mean, that field goal meant everything to this football team. 8-point lead. Remember, the one play, as you mentioned, it was run perfectly by Virginia, but it took 2 players running into each other to work.
Lundy behind his lineman, McIntosh. So let's go back to that play, Gary.
Yeah, everything was done perfectly but look at this. 2 players. Merriweather slams right in that time to Maxey on the play. Or was it Jennings? No, it was Maxey on the play. And that's a play that was run perfect. Had to work perfectly with a collision. So Miami, I don't think defensively is feeling all ashamed of the way they've been playing defense in the game.
Now the question is whether or not Virginia can mount a passing attack. Ottawa Anderson is off to the left. Hagans is going to fumble on the snap, loose, and I believe Virginia recovered it. Number 51 of Miami, Davis, had a perfect shot at the ball and didn't fall on it, and it was saved. Brandon Albert, the guard, recovering it.
Hagans goes and tries to pick it up himself, and it gets kicked on the play forward, and that's when it becomes a loose ball. You can see the Miami player tried to scoop and score, and then all of a sudden Albert gets it.
Yeah, Davis
did he try to scoop and score there, didn't he?
He's got to get down on
top.
Well,
yeah, I agree, but those scores, they always tell you.
Third down. Here's your third down play, and Virginia's been unable to mount big-time passing attack here. He's got time. Going to go deep down the middle. Williams is open, and he just overthrew him. Big time wide out, had a step, and couldn't quite get to it. Now there's your American Airlines Center where the Miami Heat plays, and Christmas Day, NBA doubleheader. The Heat will be home to the Lakers, and the champions will start it out. The Spurs, but they'll have a battle on their hands against the Pistons. The Pistons are a good team I've seen so far.
Are you doing that Spurs-Piston game, partner?
I can't remember.
Can you give me some tickets if you do?
Here is Hester to the 31-yard line. I'll take care of you, my friend. I know some people who know some people. Okay, time out. Well, the scoreboard tells the story. The Canes are giving up only 11.4 points a game. Number 2 behind Alabama. They're number 1 rush yards, number 1 in pass yards, number 15 overall. And So they have the #1 defense. They're 15 in rushing. And here comes Kyle Wright. And Gary, what would you do now if you were the coaching staff over in Virginia?
I think when you look at Kyle Wright's numbers today, and he's been very efficient, 22 for 29. The only games where Kyle has struggled is when there's been pressure on him. And I think Virginia is just going to have to roll the dice a little bit. Now, it's still an 8-point game, so I don't think Virginia's going to change yet. But if they don't pressure Kyle Wright, I think Kyle's very comfortable throwing the ball. He's been on target with all his throws. Al Golden, when does he go away from the game plan and go after him?
Jones slipped harm, battling toward the first down. And Jack, give us that story again on the Virginia flag. Do they bring it on the road to every game?
Well, if I'm sure Jets fans have already seen this flag in a different iteration. When Al Groh was at the Jets, he started this tradition. Big games, they bring the flag. It was a Jets flag when he was there. When he came here to Virginia, he decided to make up a Virginia Cavaliers flag. They only bring it out for important games, and they say that it brings the spirit of Virginia to whatever road game they're playing in. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, they need spirit here on this 3rd and short. Wright keeps it himself for the first down. So it's a 1-possession game with the 2-point conversion rule. Virginia has the wind at its back, but they must take the ball away from the Canes. Al Groh looking at that clock right now. And at the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet, of course, makes that $1,000 contribution, and that goes to each university's general scholarship fund. Great view from behind, spacing of the offensive line. Ortega, the H-back. There's the hand for Jones. He danced beautifully into that hole, didn't he? What a great way to look at the blocking of the offensive line.
Yeah, that is a really good offensive play. Watch this. You got Eric Winston against Chris Long. Long goes inside, and watch Winston just wall him down. Watch this. Inside move, wall him down. Expect your back to read that block and go off the tackle. That is some big-time run blocking. That's what you do. You wall him up. You're 350 pounds. You just take your guy the way he wants to go, and those great backs got to find the hole.
Coker working against the clock. Jones breaks free on the second effort and looks like just short of the first down where that spot is, huh? Looks like it's inches short of it there. So a reminder again on the ACC today, North Carolina State becoming bowl eligible, and Florida shutting out Florida State, and Florida State just free falling into the ACC championship game in Jacksonville next week, and they will meet Virginia Tech if Tech beats North Carolina tonight. Miami can get there only by winning this game and having Carolina upset Virginia Tech. So you've got all those games coming your way tonight. We'll check them out.
And the way things are going, if both teams lose, now who goes to the game?
Yeah, you want to take me to the Big 12 North.
Exactly.
As Colorado
and the other side, Florida State has lost their last 3 now also.
Yeah, of course, if they both lose, Virginia Tech.
Tech goes. That's right.
It's all confusing this time of year, folks. Here's your BCS standings presented by Allstate. Of course,
it's the most intriguing thing about that. Of course, best 2
most
teams.
Intriguing
don't you
thing
think?
to me,
yes,
is how highly thought of the Big Ten is by the computers.
Yes, they are. But
Penn State third, Ohio State ahead of Oregon, despite the fact that they've lost twice. Oregon's lost once, and they're in a battle for a BCS berth.
That's the most intriguing. Oregon 1 spot below a 2-loss Ohio State team. Oregon has 1 loss. Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, the Pac-10's not rated as highly by the computers this year as the Big Ten. Did he not make that? Was he stuffed on this third down?
It looked like he did not that time. You can see the official's linesman feet right there. He's got his right foot. He's pointing.
Now, what would you do? Here comes the punter. No, I'm not even going to ask you because I see Monroe trotting out for Coach Coker.
That is disappointing.
Now they're going to get the wind at their back, and
this is how
Emmanuel Byers is coming out to return this punt. There's Emmanuel. Been very smart back there on not risking anything. Monroe will be punting here for field position. And the Canes have one gunner out. Drills it, fires it, staying away. At the 10-yard line. 90 yards away for the Cavaliers. Down by 8. We'll take a break. While you're away, the officials adjusted the spot. Devin Hester must have brushed the punt, and it's been brought to the 17-yard line instead of the 10. And Higgins going to go down at the 10-yard line. Now they're back at the 10 as Kareem Brown is there. And you know, Gary, when we go up to Jacksonville to do the ACC Championship next Saturday night, we're going to have some new engineers. And I want to thank the fellows who've been with us all year who have done such a superb job. Dixon Williams, Jeff Dinnerline, and Andy Strauber. And thanks, guys, for everything. And as this game winds down, we'll talk about some of the other folks who've been away from home here on Thanksgiving and left Thanksgiving Day, and many of whom will head with us up the road to Jacksonville. And that could be where Miami could get there, but later than they would have wanted. That would be for the Gator Bowl if they can win this. Over the middle, complete. And that's what they have to do as they work Fontel Mines. And John, how about Oklahoma on this Thanksgiving weekend?
Well, Brent, for Sooner fans, it's good to see this because they didn't see enough of it this year. Adrian Peterson, with the injuries he had, wasn't showing that great breakaway speed, but there it is there as he just blows past everyone in the Cowboys backfield. 84 yards, 28-7. Brent.
Yeah, beaten up on a rival.
You know, after this play, I like to talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
Just
Third
philosophy.
Down. Higgins sidesteps, fires, beautiful throw to the tight end, and it's out to the 36. Jonathan Stupar again.
Yeah, let's look at this one first because this is a great play by Higgins. Buying time. This is what we did. We saw Troy Smith do so well for Ohio State last week. Just by time in the pocket, by giving a chance that things open up, and in another perfect throw. He made a lot of good throws, just things haven't happened. It's hard to complete passes against this Miami defense. They cover guys pretty well.
18-yard gain, and flags come flying. They'll show that. Go ahead, Gary, to pick up on that point with Adrian.
I want to talk a little bit about injuries and strategies of coaches. I think if you look back, I think if Bobby Stoops had to do it all over again.
Number 71 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
And I wonder if coaches are going to look more at this. Donovan McNabb in the NFL. Wait till guys are healthy before you put them back in, because an injury that might take 3 or 4 weeks to get you healthy and you get them the last 3 quarters of the season, you end up having a nagging injury all year. And I think it affected Oklahoma's team all year. Rushing guys back is really, really a gamble if you're a coach.
First down and 15, and John Phillips, tight end, goes over to the right side. Defensive line adjusts. Completing again and sticking back to the original line of scrimmage in college football on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Chevrolet and American Revolution. Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. And IBM Business Consulting of a different order. 6:39 on that clock and ticking. Now second down and 10 for Higgins and Virginia. Comes the blitz. Higgins tripped up. And this will be third down and long. Campbell getting credit for that stop.
It's almost like clockwork. I mean, it's not like Miami tries to fool you on defense. If you're able to gain one first down, have success on another pass, they're going to bring those linebackers, play man-to-man coverage behind it, and force you to make a great play and make it quickly. They've been doing it for 20 years. Everybody knows they're going to do it. They're just good enough to do it.
The whistle before the snap.
Yeah, Miami had 12 players on the field, and I think the coaches, Larry Coker, took a timeout to save a penalty there.
Miami, first timeout.
That's exactly what happened. The Pacific Life game summary here in this contest so far. This was Virginia's only touchdown. It came in the sunshine back in the first quarter. Williams, end-around throw from Byers, and Byers, well, Higgins has finally passed him, and then Jones took it in for the Canes' first touchdown. Then Moss slips a tackle, 17 yards. Higgins has now thrown for 92 yards and Byers 90, so he finally passed him, Gary. Byers was the leading passer for Virginia for a long time with that 190-yard.
One game, I threw 4 interceptions in a game. My guys were riding me coming back on the plane, and Bill Gay, our big defensive end, was making fun of my interceptions. I looked on the stat sheet, and I had 2 tackles, and he had 1.
I think, knowing you, the mad move of the week. And here we come. In the circle of friends, Randy Foster on his knee proposes to Emily Morris. Emily says, I do, takes the ring, and a former band member, Randy, will marry a current band member, Emily, and that is the mad move of the week here in the Orange Bowl. You can't beat love under the Musco lights.
Right. That was
third down and 10. Higgins, middle, yes, hung on.
Great catch.
Boy, I'll tell you, he has really come alive. Right. Jonathan Stupar. Gary, what's the stats on Stupar
He has had 1 drop ball in this game, but now that's his 4th catch of the game, and he has been down the middle. And I thought the coverage was so good, they were going to call it interference. Watch this throw. Perfect throw. Coverage from Kenny Phillips coming up, and yes, you could have called that interference. Great catch, great throw.
First down, they cross midfield. Lundy on a running play is tripped up by Campbell, and the Gators running it up on the Noles. John, what's going on?
Brent, when you have the Noles next week in the ACC championship game, they are going to be a very unsteady group because they're getting clobbered today. Chris Leak to Dallas Baker, 27-0, and they've still got the 4th quarter to go. Brent.
Yeah, Urban Meyer will take this one, John, and Lundy stretches, cuts back. Well, that's a big-time run right there. And John Beeson makes the stop for the Canes.
Let's look back. Remember, it was 3rd and inches. Miami did not pick it up. Larry Coker decided to kick on the play. Did you see the stretch play right here? Lundy cuts it back. That's what you got to do. Run by it, and against Miami, cut it up inside those fast guys. But now, Brent, I think with the time remaining, 4:50, it is now 4-down territory.
Best drive of the night. Higgins in zone, overthrew Williams. It's interesting. Youngsters get over anxious when they get in the shadow of the goal line. I know you got to take a shot every now and then, but as soon as he threw it, and I saw 2 Canes, all I could think of was a week ago when Kyle tried to get it all done in one play. They're moving the ball beautifully, mixing up, using the tight end. Lundy is slashing against the defensive line. You got to keep coming in underneath because that's a lot of time up there, 4:42. And now Higgins will bring him up, and then 2nd down and 10. Snelling. And now the 2 missed extra points, giving Virginia a chance, both at this end. That one right off the upright. Slipped that one completely outside it. And so it is an 8-point difference as we come to the bottom of the hour. Petty has kicked 2 field goals today. And it's 18-10. Here's your 3rd down. Higgins needs a play. Hit on the release. And it is out of bounds. He could not regain his balance in time to get down the field. And he put it into Snelling's hands.
And what happened, because they went for the touchdown, like you said, on 1st down, Now that was incomplete. It's 4th down and long. Instead of matriculating down the field like Hank Stram would like to say, now you got to win the game, you got to pick up a 4th and long to win the football game.
Now what's dangerous in this, Gary, of course, is Marcus Higgins on a broken play.
Well,
the Canes would love to make him pass if they can.
Miami's going to come after him, I'll tell you that.
Here they come, crowding the line. Here comes the blitz. The release. Williams couldn't hang on. Had one hand on it. Would have been a tough, tough catch. He was working against Marcus Maxey. Higgins was under enormous pressure. Ball goes over, and now the Canes want to eat up 4 minutes if they can. Can Virginia get the ball back? We'll find out in a moment. 3:59, 18-10. Miami leading it right now. The Canes will be working on the clock. Hill's your fullback. Jones is the running back. 2 tight ends. They have used this personnel most of the night, Ortega and Olsen. And on first down, Wright throws to Olsen, and he stays inbounds, I believe. Now they're going to stop it over there on that far side because, of course, it's a first down. So the clock stops on that. 3:51 rollout.
I like the aggressive call right there by Dan Werner. Still an 18-10 game. He does not want to give it back to Virginia. 4 down territory again. A safe but aggressive call.
And they'll be at the 46-yard line here. Centerus Moss is the wideout. They'll run Jones. Ortega with a great block. Got the corner open, number 15. And it's a 14-yard burst. So, Gary, let's take a look now at our IBM Star Watch.
Well, when you got to have a win and you had a bad game the week before, you got to come through. And today, I think without the pressure on Kyle Wright, he showed why a lot of people, and I was talking to Steve Walsh before the game, and he said, I think Kyle could be the best of all of us. He's got a lot of skill. He has to take that next step of demanding his team play for him.
It is a very young Miami team. This is Jones. I think some people have the impression with these 2 losses, for whatever reason, maybe because they're on television so much, that it's an old veteran team. It is not. They lose a couple of offensive linemen. They lose their 2 corners. They've got other defensive backs coming back there. Centerus Moss is gone. Quad Hill and Buck Ortega. The rest of that offense is coming back next year. And time permitting, the thrifty car rental post-game report. So this Miami team is going to be very, very highly rated next year. Kyle Wright will be back, of course. Here's Jones. He'll be back next year. What was the game plan? What does it look like now in the update, Gary?
Well, they finished blocks. I think that's key. Only allowing 1 sack today. That did it. And yards after catch, 140 yards. When you only have 360 and 140 of them after the catch, that's a big number.
We've got a timeout. The Cavaliers are under fire right now. 2:10, and here's your 3rd down for Miami. The Cavaliers trying to hold right now. Play fake. Kyle Wright's going to bootleg it for the first down. Cuts back upfield. Kyle Wright toward the end zone. And down at the 1-yard line. Kyle Wright might have just taken out the dagger and put it in the Cavaliers' back with that 3rd down bootleg. And when he saw daylight, instead of going out of bounds, took it 31 yards. Gary has talked about quarterbacks taking over teams. A play like this might do it.
Greg Olsen right there comes down. He's going to be it. Once he sees it's a run, he turns around. Watch the block. He gets the block and allows Kyle to cut back upfield and put it right down there on the 1-yard line.
So we've got a timeout. The Canes are closing in on a badly needed comeback win. Now Algro is over there with our officials. The clock is showing 1:58. I think if I read his lips, he said I called timeout, or he said something. He said timeout, Gary.
Yeah. I do not.
Do you think he wants time put back
Probably.
on?
That's reviewable when the time was a signal timeout. But you called timeout, he said. It's exactly what he said. You called timeout. You saw him point to the side judge and said, you called timeout. So, you know, what would it be? 3, 4, 5 seconds?
Well, we saw Lloyd Carr with this against Penn State. Get a couple very critical seconds put back on the clock. And now the officials are trying to sort it out to see if you know, the Cavaliers want all the time they can get. I will say I think this crew's done a good job with this game today.
Yeah, I think so too. A couple close plays, they were right.
He may, now he's going over to Larry. Explain to him. Yeah, and Larry said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about the score and where the ball is right now.
Yeah, I'm on the 1 yard line. So you go ahead. You've got to put a handful of seconds back up. It's okay by me.
Virginia, it's their second charge timeout.
Well, he was trying to not have the timeout charged to him. Then that would be the deal, Gary. And
but timeout was taken.
Yeah, exactly. Jones on a cutback, dives in for the touchdown, and
boy, that was a little silly by Jones right there. I know, but you have to have ball. You're up by 8. You can't lose unless you fumble. It all looks good when it works.
Take a look at this again now. Right down the line.
Unbalanced line. Same play that they did not make it. Gets hit, and he stretches the ball out. Clearly a touchdown. But then he drops the ball. Would it be to drop to just a second earlier, then we'd have a story. Then outgrows 2 seconds would have been big.
Hey, missed an extra point to some derisive cheers. But give Petty credit. He had a couple of
yes, he did.
Couple of field goals in this game.
And give Coach Coker credit for going with him to make it an 8-point game, because some coaches would have given up. Power O, and Jones takes it in.
So the executive producer of ABC Sports is Mike Pearl. He has come home to watch this game. Nice to have Mike here. Senior producer of ABC Sports, Bob Toms. The coordinating producer of college football and the producer of today's game, Bob Goodrich. Directed by Steve Bime, the #1 Trojan fan in the country. Technical director, Randy Hargrove. Associate producer, Will O'Toole. Associate directors, Brian Fay. And production assistants, Dan Barr, Julie Norman. Production manager, Kevin Winling. Technical manager, Mark Towie. And our host show was produced by Tim Weinkauf, directed by Calvin Haywood back in New York. TD there is Kevin Bierman. Stage manager here, Erica Conti. Computer stats, Craig Rothberg. Booth stats, of course, the veteran George Hill will head to that showdown between Pittsburgh and Indy. Our spotter filling in for Brian, I'm going to Hawaii Mobilson, is Joel Durbin. Nice job, Joel. Scoreboard operator, Jason Polstein. So thanks to one and all, and we look forward to having most of our crew with us up in Jacksonville for the ACC championship as we bring it down. You know, we speak of the Trojan, and what a battle going on for the Heisman Trophy, and maybe after, you know, we're allowed to change our ballots until we actually send them in, folks. So after this kickoff return, we'll take a peek at we'll make Jack Arute come up first, and then Gary.
You know, in the spirit of Florida, you can count your votes a lot of times. You can just keep voting.
I'm sending it to Tallahassee. We can control this election, okay? From the goal line, Johnson out to the 14. All right, Jack. Here's your ballot. Now that is, folks, the official ballot.
Right.
That's what it looks like. You vote 1 through 3.
All right, so do you want my first three?
Yeah,
Here we go.
There you go.
There's my choices.
Reggie
I made
jumps
a little bit
to the
of a change,
Yes,
Brent.
you did. Let Matt Leinart in there, third. Okay.
Wow.
All right, Reggie gets one. Now here we go. The quarterback. Let me see what.
GD, I've been on Vince's. I've been riding it. Look at this.
Look at this. Leaving Leinart 2 and dropping Vince to 3.
For if the UCLA game,
Trojan sweep.
if Leinart does it, I'll give him the back-to-back.
All right. Here we have Hagen's back, incomplete, and so we all changed.
Wow.
513 all-purpose yards, but I'm still going with Michael Robinson of Penn State.
Yeah.
Big Ten player of the year.
Matt Leinart
Nothing
turn
against
pro or
Matt
something?
Leinart. Nothing. I told Steve, I said, Steve, only one Trojan at a time.
See,
he won it last year.
You know, in all seriousness, the more I watch Matt Leinart, the more you just love the guy as a quarterback.
He's a great player. The Chief Scouts, when I was in to see Vermeil this week, they told me he's going to be the first quarterback to go.
I would have to concur with that.
He's a good player. They like him. And Hagen slips out to the right. Complete to Williams to the 30-yard line. So still a lot of football to come. George and I are gonna run down, and I'm gonna get a beer that's a lot cheaper than the one I had in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm gonna watch some football. That's a private joke, folks. Me and my friends.
No, it isn't.
That's true. Here's Williams out to the 44-yard line. We're going to go back and watch those games. And, man, Virginia Tech. Now, here's the situation. So for you Miami fans, just remember this. You're allowed to root for North Carolina tonight, the Tar Heels, because if the Tar Heels beat Virginia Tech, Miami goes to play Florida State, a reeling Florida State, up in Jacksonville in the first ever ACC championship game next week in prime time on Saturday night. But if Vautech wins, then they will play the Noles.
Ball start 78 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Here's our Chevrolet players of this game now, and from Virginia, number 19, 90-yard touchdown pass on an end around. And Kyle Wright, the bounce-back quarterback, in a recognition of their effort, Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. You know, Gary, you and I, we see a lot of. There's Williams again, and he's got that great speed, short of the first down at midfield, final minute. I want to go back to Kyle Wright a second, though. I think it was so important for him to bounce back and to learn. What you said is so critical. Learn from that mistake against Georgia Tech.
And understand that it goes with the position. You're going to blow games. You know, everybody's going to say you lost the game, and if you can't handle that, go play wide receiver.
Wide open. Should be a touchdown. And he turned around, lost his balance. Ottawa Anderson should have had a Cavalier touchdown, a 42-yard gain. He came wide open on the play with 43 seconds. They need a quick strike and an onside. So let's see if the Cavaliers can add a little drama here to the final 43 seconds. See if they can pump it in. Up to Williams, and he likes him as a target.
Yeah, well, he's got the height over there. You know, if that ball was, and it was thrown behind the receiver that time, and that's really what forced that guy to fall down on it. But, you know, that's very interesting. Miami kind of backed off, so this game's over, but you can see it. Miami blows an assignment. Ball goes down the middle of the field. This just looks like the only guy on the field. Look at this. But he has to turn around, and to make the catch, he loses his balance.
I wonder if he had any problem with the lights on that, Gary. He made that point earlier. Throwing it to the back of the end zone, incomplete, threw it out.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to speculate. No, because the quarterback was in the middle of the field and the ball was thrown down the middle of the field. If it was to the outside, I just think it kind of caught him off stride and over the wrong shoulder.
But I don't know why he turned around. The ball was, he could have caught it in stride, couldn't he?
I thought he had to kind of turn to catch it. It was slightly
Well, that's what he looked
him.
like, but then he realized he had to keep going.
Yeah, well, it would have been nice because then you're onside kicking with plenty of time. Now you're using up your only chance for time here. There's that bunch formation that Miami uses and gets Stupar right over there.
And they go to Williams, so Virginia was using the bunch this time.
Against Miami, yes.
And it comes to 4th and goal. Well, he's fun.
Yeah,
it can be agonizing watching him sometimes. I'm sure that you go up and down as a Cavalier fan.
And they're going to take their last timeout. Virginia is here. think that's a good play. Just you got to score, so you might as well plan it up.
Let's see, for the yards today, Virginia now has passed for 290 against the #1 pass defense in the country, and they've had a couple of big plays against them. And overall plays, Virginia 401, Miami 401. How about that? And so the Cavaliers have put some yards on this Kane defense here today, and they came in giving up only 236 yards a game, and Virginia put 400 up on them. So if anything surprises me, it's the ability of the Cavaliers to gain that many yards. Even if you take away the 90-yard end-around pass, they put 300
yeah,
up.
I kind of felt that Miami was giving them garbage yards here until that last pass down to the 5-yard line. They blew an assignment. So I think, you know, considering that the one touchdown was two guys bumping into each other on a reverse pass, I don't think Miami's crying about their defense, to tell you the truth. I think they'll live with the 400 yards.
Higgins checking the personnel.
The only surprising thing to me in the game was Virginia's inability to put pressure on Kyle Wright. I think that's the story of the game.
Higgins caught by Williams in the corner. No, incomplete. They're ruling that he was out. Back judge and a field judge both went together.
His right hand came down in the end zone just before he landed outside of the end zone. See if you can see his right hand come down. See that right hand, his elbow come down right there? They could overrule this. That elbow being down right there. What do you think, big guy? You're going to hold, aren't you?
Touchdown, Virginia.
I think so, too. I think his right arm and hand came down. I saw it live.
He has control of it.
And his arm and elbow came down. If they snap the ball, it's over. It's over. Wow.
There, hold it now. Hold it.
Hold on.
Hold on. They may have got it stopped.
They may have. They
Hold on.
Before the snap, the play is under review.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. But that was smart on Miami's part. Get out.
They got out there quick.
Get out and get it snapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure the Miami coaches upstairs saw that like we did and say, "That's close, guys. Get out there and snap it." Wouldn't this be something? You see it.
The hand's clearly in and down.
And comes down, his elbow comes down, then his body comes out. It's at least it's reviewable, worth looking at, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's touchdown. I thought it when I saw it, to tell you the truth.
I know you said it. You said,
yeah.
You know, his hand might have been inbounds. Tough corner down here.
I think the elbow and wrist are the key, not just the hand, because you'd still be running. If your hand is down, you're still alive. But when your elbow goes down, you're down. You know how a running back would carry the ball and go down to his hand and go forward? You'd still be alive.
So you folks in Florida can get a little bonus coverage on South Florida and UConn. South Florida now in the Big East, and they've put together a fine season. So
Miami's only given up 4 touchdown passes on the year, and this could be the second in this game.
And then there are 27 seconds up on the clock.
After review, there is indisputable video evidence.
Yes, sir.
A hand touchdown in the end zone.
Sir.
We have a touchdown.
No question. Good use of instant replay. Now you kick the extra point, right? You keep yourself alive.
Absolutely.
You get ready for the onside kick.
Right. You go for 1 because you got to come back and keep it. You go for 2 here, it doesn't make anything difference if you miss it.
Now the key will be the onside kick. I'm assuming that this youngster's going to whack it through to Kurt Smith, who's a sensational kickoff man. Can take it deep. We'll see what they've practiced with the onside kick.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Recover the onside kick. They've given themselves a shot.
And that's how important. Remember the receiver down the middle. Who was it, Brad? I don't remember who caught the ball down the middle and fell down on the play.
Ottawa.
That's right.
Was, He was running free on the play,
so that
and
was
then Anderson went down.
That was another 15. If he walks in, you know, that's another 15 seconds. So I think Miami kind of thought this thing is maybe everyone did was over.
At 27 seconds. There's play ran.
It was 27
Please put the
also,
clock.
to tell you the
27
truth.
seconds.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we got that straightened out. Now Connor Hughes, very reliable kicker. Still in the game. The two-point conversion, they've got a chance. 25-17, but they must get this onside kick. The Virginia members out of timeouts.
Remember we were talking about the Charlie Jones fumble on the touchdown down there when he reached the ball out? That's why you got to be careful. 8-point game with a minute and a half to go is still a football game.
Still there now. So here we come. Let's see. The one onside kick drama that I remember going the kicking team's way was Northwestern this year against Iowa. And they had more time on the clock when they recovered it. And Brett Bazinet marched them in for the winning touchdown. They don't have a lot of time to work with, but they must recover the onside kick.
And he used the two bounce and pop-up kick where it hits twice and then pops up over the first line. Don't have any idea what strategy there. Sometimes they pooch him over the head and let everybody run down. Sometimes they kick it forward and let the kicker try to get it. Uh-oh.
Somebody getting run.
Threw somebody out.
Somebody from the sideline down there. I see him.
Yeah, and there's no security throwing them out. They're just it's just on your honor. You got to leave.
.517.
Remember, in college football, 4 players have to be to the right of the kicker. You're only allowed 6 players to go for it. That's a safety reason. The NFL, you're allowed to put as many as you want over there.
Now I see that Hughes.
See the 4 right here have to be to the other side of the ball.
Here's what's interesting is the youngster with the deep leg. He doesn't do this. This is Connor Hughes, who's putting the ball on the tee. So clearly he's a little bit more adept at getting that spin and the right bounce.
Look at they put the tee back.
Down.
Look like he's got it backwards, doesn't it? So he can get to the low part of the ball. Yeah, he gets to the low part of the ball.
He wants the bounce, and here we go. Needs a high kick, and Miami pounces on it right there, and the Canes are going to win the game.
Got the short hop, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Quad Hill in his last game at the Orange Bowl, the sure-handed fullback falling out on the good hands team. So a little bit of a scare here for the Canes. 3-touchdown favorite. They're only going to win it by 8, but they'll take it after last week. There it is, folks. Kyle Wright. And the Miami Hurricanes 25-17 is the final score. And now Miami, the biggest North Carolina fans this side of Carolina itself. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, Coach, can you breathe a little better now?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's one of those you make about as exciting as you can. You know, they have a nice team, and they fought us hard and gave up some plays, but it's a good win for us.
Now, let's talk about tonight. Do you sit back and do you become a Carolina rooter?
Well, there's no doubt about that. Without question, we'd like to see Carolina win, not for John's sake, but for our sake.
Coach, congratulations.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Jack, John he's referring to is John Bunny, the coach at North Carolina, and every Miami fan is rooting for him. So, John, that wraps it up here in Miami. We send it to you in New York. Take it away.